What is up, folks? We're back. We're live. We're hanging out, playing some D&D. What's up, Ales and Scales? Thank you for coming by. For your character for the 9th, think like cartoonishly evil. That's the vibe we're going for. That's pretty much it. Anyway, so we're back for another weekly meeting of the Cross Country Compatriots here. Not like we get to roll real dice anymore.
I just like the sound.
I do too. But thank you everyone who stopped by. We're going to be hopping in pretty quick here. For those who are unfamiliar, this is my 50 homebrew world. Currently playing in a realm called the Magus Imperium, which is a highly magical, extremely militaristic, essentially world power that has essentially relied on a workforce of slave labor since they began their seemingly endless conquests and various military endeavors. At which point it's kind of grown into its own self-sustaining thing, and it is quite an ever-pervasive thing within the Imperium itself. Slavery pretty much has a foothold or a hand in every single element of Imperium life, which allows them to focus, obviously, on their military. It's very much like a kind of a Spartan kind of idea where they keep slaves, which allows them to focus entirely on maximizing their military might. However, we do know that some touchy subjects may be covered at one point or another in this, and some people be made uncomfortable by that. If that happens to be the case, feel free to just step out and collect yourself. If you don't come back, we completely understand, and we forgive you. But without further ado, let's just do a brief introduction of the characters, starting up there with my good friend Chris Beats.
Hi, I'm Chris, and I am playing Stanislav the Shiny, a golden tiefling from tip of his horns to tip of his toes, and I'm an Oath of Glory paladin.
All right, on to Lost Axioms.
Hi, I'm Lost Axioms. I'm playing a human who is a rogue and a fighter from all of his body, I guess. I don't know, nothing nearly as exciting as Stanislav the Shiny.
Yep. Anyway, so a quick recap before we jump back in. Last session, you all having made your escape from the massive city of Lysia with the agents, the Imperium slave hunters, hot on your trail, made your break deep into the Ember Steppe, heading northwards towards the Incendis Mountain range. You overnighted in a small cavern where a number of you recovered from the wounds you had suffered before, including Stanislav's brother, Ilsevere, who had seemingly been grievously wounded at the hands of the slave hunter captain, wielding a whip of certain death, I believe it was.
Like that.
Preventing him from regaining any HP during the day. So, however, after a long night rest and a little medical attention from members of his tribe, as well as Stanislav himself, we managed to make a bit of improvement, where Stanislav did sustain an injury when jumping through the closing gate. His foot has begun to recover, and he's almost back to his full, glorious golden splendor. Eventually making your way northward, weaving through the various canyon paths that weave through the Incendis Mountain range, you were led to their camp, which you never officially got the name of, I believe. No one actually took
I also suffered a point of
Yes.
exhaustion in that cave because it was cold.
Yes, in the very, very freezing desert temperatures at night. It's amazing how cold it gets in deserts. You did suffer a point of exhaustion. However, are imminent on recovering that. We made our way northward to the ruins of Vilsren is the actual name of this place. You guys don't actually know that yet, but
Vilsren, Vilsren.
Yep, Vilsren.
I should probably take notes. That might be a good idea.
It's all on this.
Stanislav does not take notes.
It's all on the scabbard if you guys ever need to do some research. For anyone who's interested in checking out some of the lore, there is a link to it there. You can go to the Scabbard website and check out all the homebrew content I've made on there and keep up with things in the campaign as they progress. If I remember to unlock them and make them visible for everybody. That's a little bit of a weak point I need to work on. However, you made your way there and found a fairly sizable encampment / stronghold built into the very ground itself here. Seemingly just a camp from the outside, turns out to be a massive ruin left by the Undara people. Before they were essentially wiped off the face of this planet. Mostly inhabited by elves who make up the bulk of the Hushroot Tribe that have made up their residence here. You spent some time chatting. Aten was pulled aside by the leader himself, Feya Sandstrider, who spent a good chunk of time questioning where your allegiances lie, explaining that there had been conflict with your tribe over the last few months as they have begun to lend an increasingly large amount of support to the might of the Imperium. However, after proving himself, if not necessarily loyal, but at very least honest, you earned the respect of the leader of these people, and decided it was best to challenge one of their numbers to a duel, which this man, or this elf, graciously accepted, having had some time since you got a chance to step out and stretch his legs, as it were. A brief, and very one-sided fight took place, understandably, but in which you gained an idea of what kind of strategy he would use in a fight, which was essentially the goal. And you managed to earn a little more respect at taking the hits and actually landing one of your own. Following such, after Stanislav got to spend a little time with his long-lost brother Ilsevere over a couple of glasses of elvish wine, sitting around a fire enjoying some food, Aten had friendship almost seemingly forced upon him, whether he wanted it or not. You made a friend.
He still hates it.
Yep,
He's still very upset right now.
I know you do. He made a friend in the form of an elf named Linax, who had seemingly been stranded in this land since the end of the War of the Bloodleaf, nearly 130 years prior.
Very smooth, dude.
Very, very chill, very calculated, very calm individual who shared a glass of wine with you and preached the importance of enjoying what little pleasures a life of a soldier has to offer.
To which Aten promptly said, "What the fuck, dude? Why are you putting kids in a pool?"
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I think my favorite thing from that was, did I just make a friend? Shit.
Yeah. A little archery competition ensued in which the two tested their skill and speed at shooting arrows, coming in nearly even, which is impressive to keep up with an elf in archery in any form. So once again, managed to earn himself a little respect. A few more drinks were had specifically by him, not so much Aten. And we ended the evening as we were about to tuck in for a long rest. And that's where we're going to pick up right now. Is there anything else you'd like to do tonight before heading to bed? You've been shown your kind of little cubbies inside where you're sleeping. I'll change up the map so you can see. Once again.
Basically, Stanislav just like climbs into his bunk and he's like, all right, then get the...
Yeah, just in the bunk and out like a light. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Completely understandable.
He's completely dressed with his armor on and everything. He's just out.
Yeah, just done. Aten, what about you?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna honk out. I'll probably not wear full armor.
Good luck sleeping in full chainmail, by the way.
Yeah, generally speaking, that's not optimal.
Could cause a point of exhaustion, but
yeah. You know,
sleeping in armor is not comfortable. Wearing armor is not overly comfortable.
I would know that. Okay, yeah.
Yes, you would know that. It's just your new chain. You did actually purchase some Hushroot chain armor made by the tribe smith, a fairly large Goliath who you also did not introduce yourself to. That's fine.
What are introductions?
What are manners in a world of war? Craft.
Stanislav has had some stuff happen to him, okay?
Yeah.
Give him a break.
So, you all tuck in for an evening's rest if there's nothing else that you would like to accomplish tonight. Linax is going to say his goodnights, end with a small bow, and head off to his own chambers to rest for the evening. You can all...
I also imagine the lighter armor is easier to doff than don.
Yes, it is. There's actually time in one of the books that explains how long it takes to don and doff armor.
Yeah.
However, you can all go ahead and smack that long rest button and gain all the benefit. Oh god, yes. Also, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming in. Sorry if we don't have as much chance to check a chat. We're going to be diving pretty deep into some D&D today, but we appreciate you all coming up nonetheless. So, following morning arrives. The sun rises once again. Not that you'd be aware of it buried here underground, but after a good 8 or 9 hours of sleep, your body feeling rested kind of comes to its own. You gather this is something people here are getting used to over time. Sleeping underground can be less than pleasant for people who aren't used to it. Right. So you imagine they adapt fairly quickly. That being said, as you make your way out of your chambers, you can smell just various kinds of breakfast being cooked throughout the camp. Some people on their own fires. The food tent outside is obviously going to be whipping something up for y'all. So, how would you all like to start your mornings?
I'm going to go straight towards food tent. Smells so good.
Yeah. Smells like, I don't know, some kind of like pork product, like bacon, but more of like a back bacon. Yeah. So it's a good meal. But you go, and it's fairly simple, like bread, some cheese, some bacon. Nothing.
Imagine my brother's already up.
Oh yeah, he does. He sleeps outside. He doesn't really
Okay.
go into the underground as much. You do find him sitting, just enjoying himself a small little helping of breakfast and a what appears to be some kind of warm, slightly bitter beverage. We would know it as coffee.
Ah.
Yes.
As dark and bitter as my soul.
Fun fact: we have the Middle East to thank for coffee.
Indeed.
It's
would
been
have,
around a long time.
I would have just taken whatever water juice they gave me at in the mess hall.
Yeah, it would probably be water. They don't really carry juice. Not a lot of fruit growth in this area. They do have like berries and stuff growing in the cave, which is
Or
weird.
milk.
Things
they have
growing,
milk.
things growing in the cave is a little strange. But as it was mentioned, this is a very powerful, historical, magical site once settled by the Undara people. What's up, JT? So you tuck in for a lovely breakfast. It's filling. It's plain, simple, not overly flavorful, but it is filling.
How are you
Awesome.
feeling this morning, brother?
I've been better. I'm still recovering a little bit from the wounds the other day, but I'm feeling much better. Thank you. How are you? How's your foot?
I'm feeling quite a bit better. A day or two more of pumping some stuff into it, and we should be all good.
It does look a
Thank
little bit less squished today.
You did the bang up job on the wrappings. Got to give it to you.
It wasn't my best work. The second time was better. How did you sleep?
Sideways. Better than normal, though. It's nice feeling safe.
That's fair. I can't sleep in that place. Does not make me comfortable.
Something about the enclosed space, I guess, yeah?
Not a fan. Yeah, no, it's too tight and cozy for me.
That's fair.
Prefer this guy. So there's been no word so far about our friend, but I'm sure they'll be on it as quickly as possible. He is one of their own, after all.
Well, as soon as they know, we can go and get them the fuck out of there, you know?
In the meantime, I believe we are expected to, what's the phrase? Earn our keep while we are here.
Sounds fair to me.
I believe there's some work to do, but we will discuss when your comrade has arisen.
Sounds like a plan.
Pan
I
over,
shoot him in the other leg.
Pan over Todd.
No, I probably got food and then like found a corner and just watched people all day.
Your people watching?
I'm people.
Do you want to be
watching.
outside or inside?
Wherever is the least conspicuous.
Probably inside. There's lots of shady corners.
I am inside in a shady corner with like a small like
Just sitting.
tray and just
Yep. So as you're doing that, you begin to see less soldiers coming out now. The families are beginning to awaken. Some of the refugees that have taken up refuge here, and a number of the families that have continued to grow as part of this tribe. You see a number of small children running around, some playing in the water already, bright and early, getting their morning swimming because they know it annoys you. You're just sitting there ruminating on it. But there's kind of I wouldn't say jovial, but like a positive energy about these people. They're living in a cave in the desert, but they have the simple pleasures and they seem happy. They seem content. And you know as well as anyone who has fought against the Imperium, this is an illusion that's maybe not destined to last. As war and conflict often finds its way to the calmest places in the area. But you sit and you enjoy your breakfast and just watch as people start to go about their morning, getting everything ready. People are picking berries and various fruits from the trees that grow, once again, deep underground in this cave. You hear the sound of waterfalls flowing constantly out of the subterranean rivers that drain here, and you watch curiously as the water continues to drain from under under the statue of the Sphinx, seemingly with no knowledge on how it's doing so. As you're doing that, Aten, you begin to get the sense that the day has begun and people are going about their duties. As you do, you notice Linax kind of notice you when he comes out of his chambers. Walk over and just grab a seat next to you. So still doing the strong and silent type thing, eh?
Never said I was strong.
I saw you fight. You're skilled if nothing else, believe me.
Yeah, I keep getting reminded the gladiatorial style combat is not my forte, though.
It's not many people's forte. To be fair, the man you fought against was an arena champion for some time.
And I kind of look over for a second. I'm like, to be fair, gladiatorial combat is what most people think that they want to be.
Until they face it in the arena. Though your friend seems to revel in it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Not going to lie, I was there for that match. It was interesting. You really do not fare well on one-on-one combat, do you?
Hey, it's not my specialty, B. I'm still pissed. I thought I looked at the grid in my head. There was a grid, and I thought I was 40 feet
Yes,
away.
I always tend to make things into 5-foot grid spaces in my mind.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
It really, really works.
It really helps organize the battlefield. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. We just did that. Anyway.
I have no regrets. I have no regrets.
No regrets. So whenever you're ready, I believe the big man has some work he'd like for you to do.
Okay.
Well, again, a big part of being here is earning your keep. It's not like you won't be rewarded for what you're doing. That is what you work for, right? A paycheck?
I mean, more or less, yeah. Well, thankfully, just in time. I just finished my food.
Convenient how that works, isn't it?
Would you care for some crumbs?
He reaches onto the plate and just grabs like a crumb of bread and eats it. Delicious. That's why we buy the elven bread. And he walks out.
I hate Lamba's bread.
We'll be outside when you're ready. He very swiftly makes his way outside, heading to get himself some breakfast. You gather the crumb was not enough to sustain him.
Right. Can't imagine why. Yeah, okay. On that note, I will just take my tray back and head inside.
As you bring the dish, or outside, I guess. You were inside watching, so you'd be heading outside where everyone's heading.
Head.
As you head back outside, and it's morning time, so we're on the daytime map again. You return the tray to the tent, and you see a fairly smallish, like halfling, male figure. He just grabs. He says, "Oh, thank you. We'll get that cleaned up right away. Thank you. Most people don't bring them back."
What? I'm not gonna say anything. And I leave.
Thank you. He just waves as you're leaving. And you find Ilsevere and Stanislav sitting currently just around the small embers of the morning fire that has kind of been slowly maintained overnight, not given as much attention, but it's warming up a bit, so you're probably not in massive need of a fire at this point.
Right.
I see you and I stand up, come over. Hello, comrade. Good morning to you. I pat you on the shoulder. Probably a bit too hard, as I do.
Don't look down at my armor that's been chipped to hell over the last few fights. I need to get this looked at some point.
Actually, just talked to a dude who I think perhaps you would like to see.
I'm sure that I would. If it's a blacksmith, then I agree.
Indeed it is. Check this out. I'm going to lift up my clothes and show you the fancy looking armor.
Yeah, you see essentially, like, as he lifts it, you notice there's like a cloth kind of woven into the edges of this, so he can barely lift it a bit. You see under this kind of whitish desert garb, there's a very thin but immaculately designed and weaved together chainmail, or linked together chainmail, of kind of a mix between golden and bronze. It kind of has this like weird, almost pearlescent hue to it.
Okay. Very nice. It really brings out the color of your eyes.
Well, I didn't really do that on purpose, but thank you. Come on, let's go meet a friend.
Okay.
Going back inside. All right. Changing maps again. So you lead him inside towards the blacksmith, and you find the large Goliath figure already at work, just ping, ping, hammering away at what appears to be a set of horseshoes.
I hate this
I'm
game.
back.
Oh, good to see you again.
Actually, I don't believe I had the pleasure of introducing myself. That's my fault. My name is Stanislav.
Grom. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. This armor's great, by the way. It's so comfortable.
Well, I'm glad that's comfort is what we go for. What can I do for you?
I point over to.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lift my hand.
He immediately sees the state of your armor and is like, "That's seen better days, huh?"
Yep. Mm-hmm. You nailed her right on the proverbial head. How much repairs? How much will repairs cost?
Repairs not too much. It'll take a couple days.
Well, then I'll take off my medium armor and hand it over.
He looks at it, notices the two cleaves directly into the chest and this kind of embered, like, burn scar from where that smite hit you.
Don't just don't.
I'm not gonna.
Thank you.
Repair be fairly cheap, about 20 gold. It's
I
actually enough to
will-
cover
I
the
got-
materials. If you're looking to replace it, we might have something for you. Or have you grown attached?
Is there a good reason to replace it?
Not yet. Keep taking hits like that, there might be.
Well, then no, I'm good with the armor I've got, and I'll hand over 25 gold pieces.
Appreciate
This
that.
whole time, by the way, Stanislav has just stepped back and kind of is sort of like looking a little guilty, but has a shit-eating grin on his face. the whole time.
I love it.
Mm.
1 second, I gotta make
It's
a
like
character sheet.
Are you okay over there?
Oh, I'm great. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're looking a little self-satisfied there.
Don't worry about it.
If you say so. Honestly, I might need a couple days, so if you're in need of armor, just hop over to the armory and grab something.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'm sure you'll find what you need. I'll have this done in a day or so, maybe 2.
Excellent.
Anything special you want done to it? Any refitting needed? Or can I just fix it up?
Yeah, just fix up.
Deal.
Yeah, I don't need anything. As the armor works, that's all it needs to do.
Assume you're staying over in the barracks.
That's where they've got us at the moment. Yep.
I'll have someone send it over when it's done.
Appreciate it.
Is this the armor with your logo on it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just whisper in your. Perhaps do you want him to do something about the crest?
No, it's fine. For now, at least.
He recognizes it, doesn't seem to say anything about it though. Yeah, come. I'll send it over in a day or 2.
Appreciate it.
No worries. Just, try not to take too many hits like that. Surprised you're still standing after that one.
Try not to take hits at all.
That's why we wear armor.
Indeed.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
He turns his back and just like starts reheating the metal and then just ping, ping. Seems to be hammering out these horseshoes pretty fucking fast too. He's a big burly Goliath, man. Very, very hefty.
Like grog sized.
I always hated that game. Just an awful fucking game.
Yeah, these aren't for that. Ping,
Oh yeah. No.
ping, ping.
All right. I
He's
hear
hammering
someone's
away
got-
at it.
I was promised coin, and therefore I'm interested. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Have a good day.
Give
Sam-
him like a quick mock salute. And head off.
Just nods kind of over his shoulder and quenches the horseshoe.
Yep.
Grabs another one, starts heating some metal. The temperature.
And we're out.
We're out. So, I assume you're gonna go talk to Feas.
Yes.
So as you re-exit the interior compound, or the
Regroup with our
inner
posse,
ruins,
sort of,
yeah, you
as
regroup with Ilsevere, who, oh, I assume you're going to grab yourself some replacement armor.
right.
Well,
If you need to.
yeah, actually, I'll wait till after the meeting. Fuck it.
So Ilsevere meets you. Lynax is currently standing there, just holding a plate. Are you ready to go then?
I told I was being paid, so yeah.
Not much, but yes, you'll be paid. He kind of brings the plate back over to the food tent, now clear of food. And the halfling once again says, "Oh, thank you there for that. I appreciate it." And he leads you back up the stairs towards the bonfire that you still see. Like, it's seemingly this man has not really moved much from this spot in the last little bit. You see Fias Sandstrider just sitting there, enjoying himself a meal in quiet solitude. He appears to be looking over a number of maps on a small table that he has set up near it next to him that you can't see because I don't have a mini for it. But he's kind of going over some charts and some different, not schematics, like maps of the region.
Yep.
Hi there, boys. Do me a favor, take a seat.
All right.
Sure.
So there was early rider into camp this morning. We got some news. We figured we'd share it with you first.
Very thoughtful.
Thorin's your ally as much as he's mine.
Fair.
As our sources would have us believe, he's going to be moved in about a week's time. I believe Ikesh has some business to finish up in town, and then he's taking his new crop of gladiators back to his in Tursa.
Okay.
Interesting.
So needless to say, we have some time to kill. Some planning to do. We know the road he's going to take. We've attacked it many times. That's a bit of a worry we're having. They will be prepared, and he is traveling with a small force. Not to
So
mention,
we've just got to throw a bigger force at that small force.
I don't think that's necessarily the plan. But anyway, you talk, boss. You're hiring us.
well, we don't exactly have a plan yet, but my friend Otten over there, you're not wrong. Anytime we've tried to meet the Imperium with any sizable force and meet them head on, it's not ended well. I'm sure you're all aware. No finer military in the entire continent. That maybe the elves. There ain't here.
We got a few.
Most of us are getting a little long of ear. Even for elves. We're not sure what the plan will be yet, but we're going to send scouts to try to find somewhere opportune along the road. Meantime, we have some time to kill, and I have a little work for you folk if you're interested. Ilsevere, this goes for you too. They might need your help. Well, I mean, like, honestly, let's look at the times they've needed my help in the last little bit. I'm happy to be there. I'm glad to hear that.
Hey, to be fair, brother, I did get off a long-lost island that none of you people have ever even heard of without anybody else's help, except for, my compatriots at the time, and a little goblin friend. It was great.
At that, Fias leans forward. Island no one's heard about. Do tell.
I guess I haven't told everybody. It's called the Lost Island of Ropesh the Cruel. And our boat crashed and we wound up there.
You see his...
Because I remember rolling for that name and it meant nothing to me, so I'm cool with tossing it around.
He kind of straightens up. The island of Ropesh.
Yeah, apparently he was. I don't really know much about it. He made dead things not dead.
He was a very, very evil man, and he pushed the entire continent to the brink of extinction.
Shit.
It's the first time in history you had the elves, the Imperium, all the other kingdoms working together.
Interesting. I mean, he wasn't there, but there was some weird stuff.
Well, he wouldn't be. They burned him alive and took whatever bones were left and spread them across the continent.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to know.
Did you touch anything?
Did we touch anything. We freed the tribe of goblins from their undead overlords. I think we touched some things.
Where was this island?
Oh God, I don't really know. Every map I've looked at couldn't point it out because it wasn't there.
I was a child when Ropesh fell. Nearly 1,200 years ago. You need to understand that messing around with anything that man left behind is dangerous, especially if you were unattended on an island that he used to own. We heard of it, we never found it, not once.
You literally could have ended that sentence with him being unattended. Like that would have covered the whole.
That seems
gamut.
bad enough.
Yeah, I mean,
DM,
you-
did I find the sword there? The long sword
Yes.
of the Deceiver?
Yes, you did. Were you there? He looks at you, Otten.
no, before my time. Torin was there with him, so I understand that he changed colors while he was there.
What do you
Yeah, he's like green now. It's interesting. But yeah, that's how we met. We were slaves.
He was
on a boat
always
together.
green. He's
you-
a half-orc.
Think like teal.
Yeah, it's different. It's definitely different.
What did he do?
He drank some shit and went to the Feywild and came back. Some like goblin.
At the mention of the Feywild,
Fine.
his whole demeanor changes again. This is like, you've taken him aback now twice in like 2 paragraphs. You saying Torin was wandering around the Feywild?
I don't know if like his physical body was like maybe his spirit or his soul or something like that. But yeah.
What kind of shit have you people been getting into?
Oh, you have no idea.
Well, you'll have to sit and tell me about it sometime. But, on to business.
I'm not being paid to care about this. What do we want?
Yeah, it's been mentioned to me you work for Corn. So, the long and short of it, there's a watering hole not far from here that a number of our scouts and refugees use on their travels northward into the mountain. Unfortunately, there's been a bit of a commotion there lately, and we're not sure why. We're not sure what it is. We sent a party to look. They didn't return.
Well, that's not good.
At most, we'd like you to scope it out. Or at least, we'd like you to scope it out. At best, deal with the problem. You'll be rewarded for it, but more than anything, we need information. We need to know if this problem can be solved or if we need to find a new rest stop on the way up here. It's hard to travel the length of the Ember Steppe without water, and we're starting to run pretty low on watering holes. What you've said about the road up from Gesmir is right. Just hives popping up.
Like a good old-fashioned infestation.
Yeah, we've had a fair amount of those. But as far as I see it, between the 3 of you, he looks at Ilsevere, should probably be able to handle. The scouts we sent weren't quite of your caliber.
What was the other elf's name? His friends.
Linax.
What about our friend Linax here? I think he might be very valuable in a situation like this as well.
He's got a job of his own he has to do.
Too bad to hear. He's good to work with.
He's a very close friend of Torin. He's going to be the one scouting out the location where we can maybe set an ambush. He has a team of his own. You saw them at work.
They're pretty good.
I feel like you're capable of handling this, and if you're not, I feel like at least one of you, and he looks at Otten, is smart enough to know when to get the hell out of there.
Oh, I mean, I'll leave his ass behind if I have to. No regrets whatsoever.
I would like to see you try.
I can kill Beethier and then outrun you. It's not a question.
You two have a very interesting dynamic. You know that? You sure you two are friends?
Of course we're friends. You think I take
No.
anything this guy says seriously?
No.
Except for when it actually matters.
No. I love it.
I have my arm around you, like
yeah. I'm
that's
just
the
like,
buddies.
Linax is kind of just looking at this and laughing. He's like, "Yeah, he's a tough." Or why am I
Moving your
going
head
Western?
up and
Linax
down.
isn't Western.
Got my wooden dagger,
That's
like
crazy. Yeah.
trying to stab you, but it's just bouncing off your new armor. God fucking damn it.
Yeah, they're an interesting pair, those two, aren't they? He's
like
a tough
them.
nut to crack, that one. Honestly, though, are you sure you three are capable? I can maybe take some time out of my set. And as he's saying that, very quickly, Bass looks at him and says, "No, you have your orders. We all have our part to play. Let's just say these two gotta earn my trust. It's already shown you can fight. Now I need to know if you're smart enough to run away when things look bad."
Sure.
Have you ever heard the tale of brave Sir Robin?
I'd like to point out that yesterday, the moment that winning became apparently unviable, I quit immediately before sustaining further damage. So
More or less, you also threw your dagger at me.
well, yeah, I was trying to knock you out of the ring, and then I would have run if it was real combat.
That's fair. Well, at least you got a head on your shoulders. Let's
All
make
of
sure it
that
stays there.
All of that aside, yeah, all right, scouting's kind of my thing. Let's go.
You can head out whenever you're ready. If you need any supplies, any weapons, help yourself.
Well, I gotta take a quick stop down at the armory for temporary armor, but other than that, I'm ready to go.
Take whatever you need.
I'm gonna mentally call for Ikesh to make his way to me.
Oh yeah, because I forgot your
Yeah,
horse is
I
named
forgot.
after your former master. Jesus
Mhm.
Christ. Okay. Yeah, Ikesh just
Because I can communicate telepathically.
trots
with him.
over to the bottom of the stairs and just kind of waits there. Twirls his golden celestial mane.
Who's a good boy? Pat his
Mhm.
mane down.
Me,
He always looks perfect. He never needs grooming.
me, I am. Yeah, for a warhorse, he has quite a nice temperament.
Yep.
You gather it's like the same personality.
He's intelligent.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Intelligent enough to communicate telepathically with you.
Well, the part of the spell is if his intelligence is 4 or lower, it becomes 5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it automatically sets the.
Yeah, so he has like
Yeah.
a grasp of the English language similar to that of a child, I would say.
Its intelligence is 6, and
Yep.
it gains the ability to understand one language that I speak, which is common.
All right. So as you're doing that, Elsevier kind of walks up. So when did you learn to do that?
Well, it seemed like it was after like the boat crash. I was able to. Oh yeah, I guess we have a lot to catch up on. I was on the ship, 2 separate ships that sank. It was fucking crazy. And then after one of the times, I was just kind of able to do it. I don't really know how, but it seemed like there was something within me I could channel, and now I can heal people. I can find this. I can summon this neat thing.
Well,
There's a lot of other shit I can do.
If anyone in the world was going to get powers just by believing that they're awesome, it was going to be you. Whether it's true or not remains to be seen, but
I don't really know if there's a source. I mean, I have this sword that's pretty neat. I think it's magical, but all it does is hit really hard.
yes, I was going to take you to have someone to look at that.
Yeah.
We have a minute if you'd like, or we can just go and deal with it when we return.
Yeah, we'll deal with it when we get back. I don't think it's anything too serious.
Definitely got a kind of a nasty energy coming off. But if it serves you well, the warrior makes the weapon after.
Listen, he needs something at least a little nasty to just kind of like dull that absolutely overwhelming temperament.
Yeah, you'll get used to it, I think. Maybe. I haven't. It's been like 30 years, but
There's
still.
a difference between tolerating and acclimated.
I mean, I'm sure people living down in the caves would argue differently, but sure. What is becoming acclimated if not learning to tolerate things?
I don't know what that means.
You can learn if you're an antelope, you can live in the same savanna as a lion and not get used to it.
That's fair. I will accept this.
Uh,
You need to go get yourself some armor, friend. It's best we don't
I-
waste any more time. Would you like a horse?
I mean, it'd probably be helpful. Yeah.
All right. I'll find one for
Armor up.
Yeah, so you head into the armory. It's mostly unguarded. You notice the blacksmith as you like approach the door, kind of looks over and sees you and nods. You gather he is enough security to deter people from trying to rob it.
I mean, fair.
You make your way in and you find pretty much a smorgasbord of armor. It's mostly chainmail, chain shirts.
Yeah, I just grab a chain shirt. Nothing too fancy.
Okay. This is also a Hushroot chain. So no worries about sneaking with it on. I don't think it's a problem with a chain shirt anyway. I could be wrong.
No, I did not take things that would give me a disadvantage with stealth. So.
Okay. Yeah, so you grab a chain shirt that's similarly made to the one that Stanislav is wearing, and also has that the white garment kind of sewn onto it as well. To help a little with the sound and with the sun. But as you don it and look down and see yourself essentially wearing the garments of another tribe after living however many years old you are, I don't believe we've gone over that in yours. It fits well, but it is fairly uncomfortable in terms of what you'd be used to. Like, it doesn't feel like your armor. You know what I mean? But it's armor. It'll do the trick. It'll keep you safe.
And we're doing a reconnaissance mission here, yeah? Sort of?
Yeah.
Reconnaissance / potential elimination if you're up for it.
I did say that we did come to the agreement that my shiny golden horse is going to be an issue. So while
Yes.
he's getting his armor, I'm gonna just dismiss Ikesh and
What?
summon.
Oh, man.
You'll be right back. Don't worry. Just go gallop in the Feywild for a while, wherever you live. And I'm gonna spend 10 minutes to resummon him as a beige, normal, non-shiny, still celestial, but not actually looking like it horse.
Sure, I'll accept that. So it's just a plain horse. He comes back.
He's like still golden. He's just not actually physically shiny this time.
So he's like a nice blonde.
Yeah, the same color
Nice
as the sand, essentially.
shimmery gold color. Yep. Okay, perfect. I thought you
You're
said
still beautiful, but now you don't actually give off light. You see?
I thought you said it could go gallop, man.
You had 10 minutes.
How much galloping can you do in 10 minutes? It's fine.
Oh my word! What did you do to that personality?
I changed it. It's a new horse.
No horse who dis.
New horse who dis.
It's the same horse, just
All right. Yeah.
not
Well,
radiant.
let's go if we're going. I preferred the glow, but that's just me.
Hey, it's for our safety, okay? Trust me. Next time you'll be even shinier than before.
Promise.
I promise. And I give him some scratches on the mane while I'm on the saddle.
All right. Well, if that's enough bonding with your pet, I think it is time to go.
Indeed.
Now, follow me very closely. It gets hard to remember this path. He makes his way. Auden, you're familiar. You got this route already down. Traveled it once. Remember every twist and turn. You rolled very high on that survival check. Stanislav, this is like riding through all new territory for you. You're completely unfamiliar with everything that you're seeing. This is completely new to you. If you'd like, you can roll me a survival check to see how well you remember it. Just in case you guys ever need to make it back here alone.
Sure. It's not going to be good. 18.
18.
It
You
is
managed
good.
You managed to get the rope down fairly well.
Yep.
You figure you could guide your way back here. Excuse me. In the case of some kind of separation or anything, if you needed to make your way back. I also need someone to roll me a percentile to see what our weather will be like for today.
I think you did it last time, didn't you, Mike?
Oh yeah, yeah. So ignore what I just did. Go ahead, Chris.
I mean, we can just take what you rolled.
Fine, go ahead.
No, just take the 67.
Okay.
Yeah, it's already rolled.
So you can't feel it per se, because you guys are kind of down in the canyons being sheltered by the mountain range around you, but you do hear the wind start to pick up dramatically. It is extremely loud in comparison to what you're used to, and even looking up, you can see just torrents of sand being blown over the top of the canyon. It's not quite sandstorm level, but it is fucking windy. It is windy, it is hot, sweltering, and the sand is getting in your face, in your mouth. The closer you get out of the mountain range, as the canyons begin to open up and the range begins to split and kind of space itself out a little more, you begin to feel the ever constant whip of the sand against your face. It's no wonder people have such soft skin here. It's constantly getting sandblasted.
Well, I have a face wrap and goggles, so I'm all right.
Yeah, I assume you're putting those on.
Oh yeah.
It's coarse. It's rough. It gets everywhere.
Don't fucking do it. You fucking did it. Oh, I hate it. I quit. Bye, folks.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Fun DMing for you all. I'm finding a new group now. Jesus. Okay. Eventually, you do manage to make your way out of the winding canyons and back onto the sprawling expanse of the Ember Steppe. I'm going to go ahead and bring the map up over here so we can show it to chat if anyone's interested. If it loads, there we go. All right, so this is where they're walking currently. So you guys can see that now, right? So the path you came down essentially comes out right under the N on the mountains, and the base itself is kind of tucked in there somewhere. As you enter the Ember Steppe, you're at the kind of the less sand duny part and the more kind of rocky pre-mountainous terrain, I would describe it as. But even here, the sand is being whipped around. It is hard to see. There's essentially like a fog of just blowing sand surrounding you. You can make out where you're going. And again, it's not quite sandstorm levels. Another 13% higher on that dice it would have been.
This area kind of reminds me of like the Middle East, how there's mountains in a desert and rockiness and trees and stuff.
Literally exactly what it is.
Yeah,
supposed to resemble. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so it is still quite rocky, but the sand has begun to kick up. And as you look out towards the expanse of the ocean, still looking on the high ground, this is the first time, at least Stanislav, you have seen the world from this angle. And even through the haze of blowing sand, you can see the massive sprawling like in waters of the Decifian Ocean and the Osrian Sea poking out to the west. It is still quite foggy, but you can see kind of like the shimmer of where the sea meets the horizon far off in the distance. You are currently standing on fairly high ground. However,
I'm also on a really tall horse.
You are on a very tall horse, and it's still a war horse, so it's not quite as fast or as nimble as the one that Auten and Ilsevere are riding, which are much smaller, a little more lithe and agile in comparison.
My boy can go.
Yeah, these are steppe horses. These are very specifically bred to like handle the rocky mountainous terrain of this area, and they are moving a little faster than you and a little more smoothly. And you notice Ikesh, your horse, is kind of occasionally struggling with some steps here and there. But all in all, you guys make fairly good time. Would someone like to roll?
I'm also like I'm telepathically telling him to watch out for rocks and stuff. Helping him look out.
He's good. Would one of you like to roll a perception check at disadvantage, please, because of the blowing sand?
Perception is still me.
Always. Always you.
So 23 on the first.
Anyone can roll to see what they want to see.
15 on the disadvantage. So
perception +0.
Might have Ilsevere roll real quick. He's got +8.
7.
Oh, two of us with +8. I'm actually surprised.
I don't have to roll perception checks anymore.
I didn't build Ilsevere, so you thank Chris for that. This is his character.
There you go.
I partially built him to balance out our characters.
That's fair.
Yeah, I didn't intend for him to be a recurring NPC, but that's kind of how it ended up with Rob being away. And, This is what we do. We improvise. However, between Ilsevere and Auten, Stanislav, you managed to keep a watchful eye out and avoid any hazards that may cause your horse to stumble or fall, but that's about the height of it. You're not really used to being the watchful one in the group. That's not your area of expertise. However,
and now that I'm back with my brother, I'm kind of relying more on him to do that, because that's how it has always been.
Absolutely. So Auten, as you're riding and kind of keeping a lookout, Ilsevere rides up next to you and kind of starts pointing out different landmarks, pointing like places he likes to hide, or the Hushroot will hide if being pursued. And you start to kind of learn a little more about this landscape that you're not completely familiar with. Your tribe operates heavily in the mountains,
Yeah.
among other places. You do venture into the Ember Steppe, but like usually with a very specific destination in mind. You don't really wander per se. But he's taking his time, leading you kind of in the low valleys of the sand dunes, avoiding the bulk of the blowing sand and wind. It is still there, and it is still uncomfortable. I have to ask: do you have goggles?
I probably got something for eye covering. I
mean,
wouldn't be foolish enough to go into a desert without something to protect my face after living here for so
I would
long.
imagine the slit in your helmet is probably like decent enough to block out the bulk of it. You'll still be
Yeah.
rolling at disadvantage, but you will not be like attacking with disadvantage, which is the main thing. Because if you're getting sand in your eyes, it's hard to see.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah,
And I have these nice goggles that I paid a fair bit of gold for.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
you did.
I would hope they last. And I
Yeah,
would love
so
to get
your-
them enchanted.
Your
someday.
perception wouldn't have been at disadvantage. It would have just been the first roll, which was a 7.
Oh, no, I assumed it's just because the sand is there and it's blocking distance
too.
vision.
That is true. That is
So-
true. However, you all make your way kind of eastward, following kind of a path that leads you along this way. You have the mountains up on your left, providing a little cover from the wind. But as you begin to get closer to the sea, or the ocean, I guess the Decifian Ocean there, or the Bay of Sorrows, Sorrow Bay, if you will. As you continue to weave your way through there, you do see different forms of wildlife taking shelter from the blowing sands, whether it's like small armadillos and other desert critters. Nothing substantially large, but if you are desperate and in need of hunting, there's a fair decent amount of food here. However, as you ride along, you come under down into the valley next to a rather large sand dune as you're beginning to enter like what I'm going to refer to as the Dune Sea. Not officially, but and Ilsevere stops his horse and puts a hand out for you all to follow. Now, as far as I know, the place is just over this next rise. A small spot, small watering hole, shouldn't be that much of an issue, but the fact that we've lost people here already makes me little worried.
Sounds hazardous. Should we go on foot from here?
That would be what I recommend. We can tie the horses up over there. And you do see like a small cluster of bushes and like some various like foliage, vegetation that you could at least hitch a horse to, like a kind of a small cactus or something like that, and a number of things that they can feed on in the meantime. I think it is best if we leave our horses here for now.
For sure.
Okay.
I'm definitely not going to tie my horse up because if I need, I can call him to my mind.
You're just full of tons of new surprises, aren't you, brother?
It's weird, but yeah.
If I was going to give anybody mind powers, it wouldn't be you.
It's only between me and the horse. Don't worry about anything else. I can't
I never
see what
worry,
you're
brother.
thinking.
You know this.
I would start. Speaking of starting, shall we?
All right. Are any of you particularly good at being sneaky?
Well, if you had to gauge my ability to sneak on a scale from 1 to 10, it's a +7.
Well, with this new armor, it's much quieter, and I like jump a couple times, and you can't really hear it.
Yeah, there's a small jingle. Like if you jump or sprint, it is audible, but like when you're at a normal walking pace, it's fairly quiet for a full suit of chainmail.
A lot better now.
Well, my advice is we creep to the top of this dune and see what we can see below.
Excellent. I am going to cast Enhance Ability on myself.
Oh, well, okay. I was actually just going to tell you to stay close to me, but that works too.
All right.
Um,
So y'all gonna go up in a line together and all go to the same spot, or are you gonna try to spread out? How do you want to do this?
I'm actually thinking, I'll take rear, or, Yilsevere and I should be first and last, and we
Yes,
should have,
definitely.
and we should have, our last friend in the middle. I think that's just
Okay.
makes
So
the most sense.
at that
so yeah,
point,
I'm doing
need
Cat's
everyone-
Grace, obviously.
yeah, everyone needs to roll me a stealth
Well,
check.
Since Cat's Grace has already been cast on,
Oh,
him, I'm gonna use my bonus action to help,
oh no, that's
Ilsevere?
Yilsevere. Yeah, cause I can't use it on myself.
Your rolls a 26.
Okay, and I fucked up, so, yeah,
I'm rolling stealth, yeah.
Yep.
At advantage because
cause why not? Yeah.
Because
No,
enhance
'cause my spell.
ability. Yeah. So
too.
oddly enough, Auden, you pride yourself on being a very stealthy individual. Like this is your area of expertise, scouting. But as the three of you are making your way, almost like not quite single file, but spaced out a little bit and kind of evened out, Ilsevere just glides up the sand dune, like almost like wind, barely even noticeable. He's very fleet of foot. Slowly makes his way up to the top and just lays down on his stomach, looks back and gestures for you all to follow, which Stanislav does with more skill than you've ever seen him do thus far. Actually manages to sneak fairly successfully up to the top of this hill without making much noise. However, as your turn is coming, you begin to get in your kind of stealthy pose that you use when you're trying to sneak quietly and start walking.
It's a pose, is it?
You know what I mean? Your stance. Anyway, and you start making your way up the hill. However, the armor you're wearing and the robes that came literally attached to it are a little drapier and more flowy than you're used to. And as you're making your way, it does catch on a series of dried, dead bushes and just begins to rustle its way through it as you try to unhook the little bit of flowy garment from it. And they both look back at you like, and as you do make your way up to the top, you're not aware if anything has heard you. You have no idea, but you did make a fair amount of noise rustling through those bushes. Ilsevere leans and says, "Now for all the talking, I actually thought you would be good at that." You have had a rough few days, my friend.
After all the help that I give, I've done it. I increased your effectiveness by a quantity of like 20%, and you're gonna bust my balls.
That's what I do.
Look,
Welcome to the Brotherhood, my friend.
Fuck off.
Look, brother. To be fair, he's wearing not so great armor. Don't give him a break.
No. We're on a job. Move.
It is a bad
We're on a
craftsman
job.
that
We're
blames
on
his
a
tools.
We're whispering all of this, by the way.
We're on a job. We have a task. Focus.
I'm focused. Apparently, you're not. He just goes over, just like smiles one last time. He's just ribbing you, and slowly kind of army crawls his way up over the sand dune and pokes just like a little bit of his eyes and two massive curling horns up over the top of the sand dune. If you'd all like to join him, go ahead. We're all going to roll perception checks.
I'm going to assist.
Still at
Auden.
disadvantage.
I will assist. Oh wait, I'm already helping with stealth, so I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna assist Auden.
I rolled 2 19s in a row on that.
26 with the help.
Nice.
Was that at disadvantage?
I mean, whichever.
Oh, so
It
it would
would-
be a straight roll.
It would be a straight roll because the
okay, so the
blowing
thir-
sand
you-
is still quite hard to
okay.
see.
Yeah, you'd still take the 13.
Yep, 13.
Okay.
So between the two of you, you're trying to like point things out to him. You prove almost a bit more of a distraction. Where's my map here?
Look, there's like is that a hole in the ground over there? What the?
I mean, I don't know. Does it look like your ass?
Okay.
I mean, a little bit.
You guys
Okay,
would be
okay.
looking from a dune that's essentially up here.
Yeah.
And the watering hole is directly there where you can see it. Elsevier's like, no, I don't see anything, and that is what worries me.
Yeah. I say we just wait.
I'm good with waiting. He just
were-
pulls his wraps up a little closer and just like leaves a slit for his eyes where you can see his goggles kind of pointing it. Just
Respect.
puts his head on his chin and keeps watching. Even though 27, he does not see anything.
Well, on that note.
So you're just gonna wait?
Yeah, I mean, we know that this is the area.
Hmm.
We haven't seen anything. Wait, there's no reason to put ourselves in danger for information.
I'm gonna watch behind us.
Okay, so you're gonna watch the rear. So you lay there on your stomachs, just kind of watching over the sand dune so long that the blowing sand begins to cover you, blending you even further in with the environment, and muffling Stanislav's shiny demeanor.
Excellent.
I would like someone to roll me a d4, please.
Here, I'll do it. 2.
It rolled a 2. I don't know why it didn't go through on D&D Beyond.
You mean on roll 20?
Yeah.
It's a 2.
Okay. I'm so happy.
Just remember to pack food and water.
So, you guys lay there for half a day. A good 4 or 5 hours at this point, just waiting, watching. And at about the 5.5 hour mark, you see a number of desert creatures, larger ones, large reptiles, things like that, come up to this watering hole and begin drinking from it. And as you do, you see what appears to be a massive trapdoor based around these bushes open up, and a massive 8-legged arachnid with a giant plate on its face emerges from the thing and slams its face into one of these creatures, knocking it to the ground and stunning it, immediately biting into it, and drags it as it's kind of panicking back into the trapdoor and closes it. And once again, the trapdoor is utterly indistinguishable from the terrain that surrounds it. You can hear the cries of this creature as it is slowly being killed. And then there's silence.
I just look at Ilsevere. Look at Atin. Look back at the trapdoor.
I'm not going to lie to you. That surprised me a little bit.
I look at the sand underneath Elsevier for a second. Not sure if I'm gonna notice anything, but I took a look.
He did not pee himself, no.
Okay, excellent. That's all
None
I
of you are
wanted.
moving, and you all rolled at least decent on your stealth at this point. Actually, I would like everyone to re-roll stealth, because we've now
Okay.
been laying here for 8 hours and have started to move again.
Thank fuck.
Um,
Yeah,
Your natural... Okay.
I'm good.
I'm not at advantage anymore. Obviously, that spell only lasts an hour.
Still good.
16 though, yeah.
So the fact none of you are moving, you're currently buried in sand that has been blowing all day, and a fact that is very loud and there's tons of just tactile movement on the sand surrounding this creature, you gather it hasn't been able to detect you yet, despite the fact that it probably should have. But you seem
I'm sure it's fine. Sure it's fine.
fairly comfortable in the knowledge that you are safe and stealthy. What would you like to do about the situation?
Well, I think the 3 of us could take that thing out. Unless there's more. That's what I'm worried about, is that that's not the only one.
The only information we have is that there's something that resembles a trapdoor, and that there's an arachnid inside that seems
Big
to
fucking
feed.
arachnid.
Right, it's a big arachnid that seems to feed off of creatures nearby. That's a limited amount of information. We don't know if there's more. We don't know if it can even leave that area.
So how do we intend to get more information?
I mean,
We sit and wait until something else shows up?
I have a horse that I can tell to do anything.
Here's the thing.
So
Have you-
mean.
Are you familiar with siege tactics? I'm assuming you are.
I'd be lying to you if I told you I'd ever been in a siege, my friend.
Okay. It's the interesting thing, because a lot of people seem to be under this weird impression that during a siege, the goal is to kill more of the opponent or destroy more of the walls. Generally, a siege is starving out your opponent.
What, you intend we spend many days here waiting for more things to come kill them so it can't?
Yes,
It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard, honestly.
it's significantly less dangerous than trying to fight the thing on purpose.
Well, I can definitely figure out if there's more of them. I can send Ikesh in there.
Right,
And
I'll be
as
right
soon
back,
as something
folks. I gotta
jumps
hit the
at him,
bathroom real quick.
I can.
That's
Dismiss it.
even if you send a cash in, now that the DM's not here, even if you, let's say you send a cash in and it's a different spider, how would we know? Did we distinguish any specific markings on spider number 1?
I'm just thinking different location. I don't know how those big spider thingies work.
Ah, that is fair. Basically,
I was
long
just gonna
story
make
short,
him walk around in large circles, away from that trapdoor area, obviously.
that is fair. Just we are not, in my opinion, in any situation where we could say with any real amount of certainty anything. And assuming information is dangerous. So I would rather wait if it turns out after a few days, because a creature that large needs to eat quite regularly, I would say. If it turns out by some, not freak accident, but if it turns out there are multiple of them, then they're going to have to leave eventually. And that will be the moment that would be best to gain information.
It's true, except they set the bear on the watering hole, which means that they're not stupid.
Of course they're not. Well, not necessarily. Basically every predator knows them.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Effectively, every
Okay,
predator
everybody
knows that. Indeed, every predator knows that water is the most valuable asset. It's the most valuable to them too. Being near water doesn't imply intelligence necessarily as much as it implies convenience.
Or
At least in
I
my
would say
opinion.
instinct, if nothing else.
Convenient.
I think
Yes.
we can take one, but if there's more than one, then I don't know.
Well, I can tell you that one spider was enough to kill 5 men. So whatever we do, we need to be careful.
I mean, I can probably outrun it, but unless we could keep it from escaping, which if this thing can burrow on its own and isn't reliant on a single trap door, we're gonna have issues.
Someone roll me a nature check if you'd like. I mean, everyone roll a nature check if you like.
Sure.
I'm not going to lie to
Elsevier
you.
definitely should.
Not going to lie to you. I'm not that familiar with these things.
Neither
Yeah.
am I.
So to
Oh
be,
no. I rolled a 0.
yeah, so to be clear, I think that it's significantly safer.
Did I just lose brain cells?
I think in
little.
my opinion, it's significantly safer to starve this thing out and wait for it to leave than it is. And the only real danger that I can think of, and I use danger in this particular case, thankfully, lightly, the only real concern that I would have would be if it eats creatures underground. But if that's the case, why does it need to come above ground for food? So let's starve it out. We're gonna need food ourselves. Try to kill it far enough away from the hole and wait.
They
We
said
lose
it is
nothing.
a week before your friend is moved, so waiting isn't an entirely bad idea. I would recommend we maybe do it a little further away. I have a feeling on a calm day this thing probably pretty aware of its surroundings.
I can also. I still think sending in the horse is a good idea,
Couldn't hurt.
just to see if there are more.
I disagree.
What are your thoughts?
Well, to put it bluntly, if this thing kills a creature and then that creature vanishes, because I've seen yes, it was Beethier at the time. I have seen you evaporate your horse before. If I'm a primal creature who lives completely off of instinct and eats for food, and suddenly my food disappears, I'm going to be rather cranky.
He's
Might
not
be a
wrong.
bad thing.
And I'm not sending one of the other horses. I like them.
Oh no, those ones can actually die. The Ikesh there is immortal.
I'm
We
open
are-
for everything. This is your job. You tell me how you'd like to do it. All I can tell you is that we need to be careful whatever we are doing.
Well, we have a week before Toron's back. It takes us how long did it take us to get here, DM?
Like half a day, maybe.
Right, half a day.
Maybe a whole day's
So-
travel. It's probably about 4 in the afternoon, and you would have left around like 8. Being on horseback helps. You moved rather quickly.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd
Where'd
say
my
we
Spider-Man
can.
go?
I would say we can wait for a day or two. After that, if we haven't been able to get any further information, then we can start doing things like sending in phantom horses.
I'm not against this. I think it's a
It is a good idea.
perfectly reasonable plan.
I also like Brother's idea of moving further away, you know?
Yeah, let's.
Okay,
It's
so
a large spider.
I put the spider on the map so you can see it. Approximate size was about that.
Gotcha.
Oh god.
It's fucking huge.
Tiny little fella.
Like
A
Harry
tiny little
Potter
spider.
spider size.
Yeah, very much Aragog sized. But like I said, there's what stood out weird about this particular creature is that it has a metal, like not metal, but like a hard
Bone.
carapace-like armored plate that it uses to ram and stun its enemies. Do with that information what you will. You did see how it attacked. It came out, it rammed it, and then it sunk the fangs in once the creature was indisposed. The other lizard just fucking scurried off out to nowhere.
The beginnings of a plan are forming.
Yeah. I mean, I have an effective range of like, what's a longbow? It's pretty far.
I think if we can get it to come out of the hole, we have a significantly better chance of killing it.
I'm not necessarily sure that engaging it right now is the best idea.
Oh,
Oh,
believe
no,
me,
not right now.
I'm with you. I'm just saying if we are going to do that, getting it to
Yes.
leave the hole first, through whatever
Yes.
means necessary, be it fire, water, smoke, I don't care.
Or
Right.
my horse. Maybe that's better use is for bait instead of
I mean, from what
for
we
using
saw,
him in attack.
it attacks and then it pulls it back in.
Yeah.
So
I
how
have
come
a hard time with large horse though.
didn't look like he had hard time with large lizard.
Was
but
the lizard about the same size as a horse?
It was a giant lizard, yeah.
Jesus.
It was a big
Old gizzard.
bigger than a Komodo dragon, or at least comparable.
Like half the size of the one Obi-Wan rode?
Yes, that's
Cool.
very accurate. That's how I
Nice.
would absolutely describe it.
Neat. Horse size.
So if you guys would like, we can move away from here very quietly, set up a camp, find a way to get some food, and try to starve this creature out. I have no idea how long that might take, and we only have a week.
If we can't starve it out within a week, we can make some valuable inferences, right or wrong.
Fair enough. So first order of business is find somewhere to camp, yes?
Yeah.
I believe you're the best at that one, brother. You always never led us astray.
Me or him. I figure together we can both do it.
Between the two of us, we should be fine.
You stay put. Keep an eye on things. And if it starts attacking you, scream very loudly. Can you do that
Alright.
for me?
Absolutely. Oh, I can scream louder.
Leans
than
over
you
to
know.
Auten. Best to give my brother simple tasks. He is going to... Honestly, he's just going to assist you, so go ahead and roll at advantage. He's going to help you, like, try to pick out a spot. You do
Survival,
see
eh?
the Incendis Mountains. Yep. You see
Okay.
the mountain range, not far off, maybe like a 20-minute ride to the closest cliffside.
Higher, my first roll and my highest roll, 23.
Okay, yeah. So looking out, you see where the ground begins to grow rocky again, and it kind of rises up into this cliff, and you see not quite a cave, more of like a little bit of an overhang that would offer potentially some shelter from some of the elements. And most importantly, a way to block your light if you were to have a fire. You can understand in the desert at night is fairly essential.
Yep, very valuable.
All right, so are you going to make your way over there? We will need to roll more stealth checks anytime someone moves. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're gonna need to make camp, so that's gonna be very important.
He leans over. Stay here, brother. You will not be long.
All right.
I will help with stealth, so he will have advantage. Oh, fuck. It fucking hurt.
Okay.
Did you straight up Wesley yourself? down
Yeah,
the sand
so
dune?
as Ilsevere stands and very like gently turns and kind of shakes the sand off of him and starts making his way down the sand dunes, Auten just like stands and like jerks the sand off of himself and tumbles down the side of the sand dune, kind of rolling down through the sand, occasionally hitting a rock on the way down. You don't take any damage, but you definitely tripped and fell on your way down this sand dune, making a whole lot of noise. Stanislav, I need you to roll me a perception check, please.
Yeah, my eyes are peeled on that. Oh boy.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so bad.
You don't notice anything?
I'm still just staring.
Yeah,
at it.
you're
Boy.
terrified at this point.
Shield and weapon drawn.
That's fair. It's completely reasonable. At least you guys didn't roll the slads, by the way, so.
Fuck is that?
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
They'll come in at a later date, I'm sure. You don't see any movement that you can tell, but it's still quite hard to see. That should have been at disadvantage too, because of the sandstorm. But I'll take the 8, or because of the blowing sand. However, Auden, you recover, seemingly having damaged only your pride yet again. Elsevier just standing at the bottom of the dune, looking at you with his arms crossed.
I don't even look at him. Just
He doesn't say a word, just stares at you. You all right?
we have a job.
Yes, we do. Try not to make any more noise. And he turns, starts heading up towards the little alcove. Reaches into his pack and begins setting out like essentially a bedroll. Flattens some ground out in the sand, puts a rock there for a pillow, and just lays out his bedroll.
I mean, technically, I got an 8, but yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I don't count natural
No,
ones
I
on
know
skill
it's
checks
so
necessarily.
bad, though.
But I also, if you get a natural 20, I'll zhuzh it up and give you a little spice on it. So I have to do the same. So you fell, but you didn't take damage.
Absolutely. I'm not
Absolutely.
begrudging. It's just it hurt. It hurts.
Hurts
And
your
I
pride.
think, and I have a hunch that our target knows about us now.
Maybe
You have no idea.
I don't know if they have tremors.
It
or
might
not.
it
I'm
might
not
know
smart.
that something's big is moving nearby, but they would definitely sense it leaving their range. Anyway, so you begin tucking in, and Ilsevir's like, "If you can sit tight, I'm gonna grab some firewood."
Yeah.
See about
I haven't
getting a
moved,
fire
by the way.
started.
I'm still lying on the sand dune. My brother told me not to move, and I have not moved.
Yeah, as he's kind of
However
walking,
long this has been.
he kind of walks and keeps staring at you on the sand dune, just leaves you there. Goes off and gathers some like dried bushes, some twigs, some like light kindling. There isn't a lot to do with firewood, but there's enough like brush that you can burn it substantially throughout the evening. Does manage to find some bigger bushes that will burn a little slower, and starts to assemble a little fire, and it gets burning right as the sun begins to go down, at which point he's gonna stealth up to you. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because you're not looking at him right now, right? You're just keeping an eye on the spider thing. Oh, natural 20. Man, I'm rolling so good tonight. What the fuck? Why can't I do that during combats? He makes his way slowly up the sand dune. Once again, silent as ghost. Almost startles you because you don't hear him
Yeah.
coming. He just puts a hand on your shoulder, Stanislav.
I turn and I like have my sword at his chest already. Oh,
Well, nice to know that you're prepared, but try to relax a little bit and not stab your brother.
sorry.
We have a little camp set up. You should come with me.
All right.
Any movement?
Not that I saw.
Surprised considering how much noise your friend makes.
He's not really super quiet. I don't know what's going on with him.
We all have bad days, sure.
Performance anxiety.
Yeah, sometimes we don't perform well under pressure. I understand it. Come with me and try to be quiet about it. He's going to use his natural 20 because that's going to carry. That's his cool thing. So he very stealthy.
That 20!
That's 3 because I did
Let's
have a nat
go.
20 on stealth earlier, just not fucking now.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's amazing. So as he starts going, you follow his footsteps exactly, and at like the last point, the two of you come to the bottom of the hill together. He looks over at you and, now where did you learn to do that?
Oh, it's definitely the new armor. It's so quiet.
It helps, right? With me. And he brings you to
Oh.
the camp where there's a small fire. Auden has set out whatever sleeping arrangements he would like to. I don't know what you use, if you just sleep on the ground or a bedroll. That's your choice. Find a place by the fire, brother. It will be very cold tonight.
Indeed. Yeah, I'm gonna go set up my bedroll like right next to it.
I will. I'll take first watch.
Sounds good. So let me understand, the goal for this entire mission is to kill anything that approaches the watering hole and prevent this creature from feeding. Yes.
Effectively, yeah. In the event that it still comes out, that still gives us information that it's willing to venture further away for a clean kill.
All right. I'm going to get some sleep.
As you should.
Wake me in a couple hours when your watch is done.
Understood.
He just puts his head up and rests his head on the little rock he's using as a pillow.
I will. I'll wake you up before I go.
And I didn't.
I understand.
And he begins to drift off into a fairly nice and comfortable sleep.
Hmm.
Stanislav, is there anything you'd like to do before you join?
No.
Okay. You as well drift into a fairly
I mean,
comfortable
I
sleep.
assume we would have eaten something, one of our rations as well.
Yeah, that's up to you. That's your personal decision. But yeah, he kind of snacks on some jerky he has tucked away. Or what is it, pemmican or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
He tucks in, you tuck in. Autumn, go ahead and roll me a perception check to see what you can hear.
Thankfully, I'm pretty good at those. But
No disadvantage this time because the storm has or the winds have begun to subside.
I mean, not
That's good
bad,
enough.
but also fuck.
So you're familiar with the Ember Steppe. You've traveled here enough. You do know that a large number of creatures prefer to come out at night when it is a little
Teachers.
cooler. Teachers, yes. And you hear a familiar sound. You hear a loud, not quite a crash, as something emerges from the dunes and the screeching of a creature, followed by a quick muffling of sound as it is seemingly dragged to its death.
Starving it just stopped being an option. Fuck. And I'm gonna go through the rest of my
The rest
watch.
of your watch passes without incident. Ilsevere takes second watch. He's going to hang out and try to make sure nothing is keeping an eye on you guys. Doesn't hear anything. His watch passes seemingly without incident. And Stanislav, we will end out the watch with you. So everyone's going to do a 4-hour watch and get 8 hours of sleep. So it'll be a 12-hour rest. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, please. Night passes without incident. It's beautiful. You haven't got to spend a night out under the stars in a little bit. Been a few days. Slept in a cave the other night, so you're enjoying the fresh air and beautiful starlight that twinkles above you. Nothing really stands out. The horses now, they've you all brought closer to the camp, I'm going to say, and they're kind of sheltered in.
Yeah.
Your horse is awake, having no need to sleep. It kind of just hangs out.
I can press long rest since from when I woke up, yeah.
Yeah, since your last rest, everyone gets a long rest.
So, good news is we're all safe. The bad news is I'm pretty sure that something came to the watering hole last night, which means that
There's a
I've
fair
had to
amount of fresh food in there.
Starving it out's not going to be an option.
Logically speaking, I believe the creature hunts when it can and stores what it can for as long as it can. Our strategy is still viable.
Yes, it just got more complicated, but there's no technical time frame. I'm not feeling rushed yet.
6 days now, but apart from that.
Well, we were told to recon first, take out second. I'm happy to play that job.
Recon it is. So do we go watch? Do we go hunt?
Today we go watch. I still maintain if it's possible to starve this thing out, that may be the most viable option, but it's gonna be real hard with the current changes in eating climate, I guess you could say.
Wow. We just got a raid real quick. Thank you for the raid of 11 people. Holy shit. Thank you, Zombie. I appreciate that so much. What's up, Mystics? We're just getting some pretty heavy into some D&D right now, so it's kind of hard to stay up with chat, but I'm going to take a minute to say hi. Welcome, everybody. I go by Rusty Tonics. This is my channel. Currently playing... Thank you for the shout-out, Chris. I appreciate that. Currently playing some D&D in my homebrew adventure that I've developed over the last few years. While I'm running a one-shot for Tarkonix in the TRG group, we might have an extra slot. If you've never played before, I might recommend starting with another group of less-known people, but I'm more than happy to introduce everyone to D&D. Playing D&D by chat. Hell yeah. So anyway, we're going to play some D&D. Damn, you guys are all playing D&D stuff. I appreciate that. This works. So we're gonna dive back in. It's kind of hard to keep up with chat while I'm trying to do some DMing. We may have a slot. I'm waiting to hear back from Tark, and then I will let you know. So we're gonna dive back in now. I'm sorry if we can't pay as much attention to chat, but we're about to deal with a big spider situation that we're currently trying to starve out of its hole. Hell yeah. Gotta have those good DMs. I appreciate that.
The spider also has an armor plating on its front that
It
uses
does.
to knock
That's
out
right.
its prey. It's fucking terrifying.
To stun its prey. Yeah. So, as you awaken the following, thank you very much. As you awaken the following morning, now kind of formulating a plan, realizing that perhaps starving this creature out of its hole may not be the most feasible option, but deciding to pursue that route, at least for the time being, as the plan to go up and scout.
I'll give it one more day. Getting within range of this thing just doesn't seem like a well, it's not my first thought when I'm thinking about a good time.
I kind
Well,
of agree.
All I can tell you is if we go face to face with that thing, it is not going to end well. But if we can get it to come out of its hole, I think we'd be okay.
I'm still not convinced it would go well. I'm not convinced that it's the only thing in there.
That's a fair point.
If, for example, it's stockpiling because it has a bunch of children.
Ironically, we don't have the ranger in the group tonight.
Yeah, this would be a great night to have fucking Torin.
Unfortunately, he is in chains.
Yeah, well, maybe this'll have to wait till he gets back. It won't, but it would have been nice.
It would have been. It is unfortunate.
We miss you, Torin. Hurry the fuck up. We are going to
Scouting it is then.
scouting for one more night. And
Everyone roll me a stealth check as you make your way up the hill. Oh, that one's not very good.
I'm casting enhanceability on myself.
why did I do it like that? If it's 22.
Okay, so you rolled sleight of hand. Not stealth.
It's the same. It's the same
It's
modifier.
+3. Okay, so 18. This time, Ilsevere is the one who kind of struggles going up the way a little bit. When you get to the top of the hill, everyone roll me a perception check, please. And as he's beginning to make his way up, he's kind of
Nat
following
20.
Jesus. Kind of following the same path he did the day before, using like the harder stones that are more securely placed to avoid having things roll down the side of the sand dune. Unfortunately, one of the stones does come loose and just tumbles down the dunes. Not making a fair amount of noise, but definitely displacing a fair amount of sand on its way down. And with that natural 20 perception roll, Stanislav, you see the trapdoor that this thing is currently residing under open ever so slightly. Very subtly. Oh shit, we gotta buy followers. How about you eat my ass? There we go.
What?
Someone went in chat saying, buy your follows here. Shout out big follows in chat.
Yeah.
The spider definitely just saw us. He knows about us now.
Okay. So it knows it's being watched.
Yep.
The door closes. Noticing there's no prey within ambush range, it doesn't seem all that interested. Or at least as far as you can tell. Good natural 20, though. Very handy. So what is the plan here? We can sit out here all day, in the sand, in the sun, and watch this thing, or we can figure out a plan. If you want to hunt anything that comes near, so it can't feed, maybe we should split up and make sure nothing passes a certain perimeter.
Well, there's only one other problem, and I'm pretty sure that is I'm the only person currently equipped to handle long range takedowns currently.
He has a pair of javelins on his back, but nothing that's like
Nothing that's
particularly
per se.
I have a javelin quiver full of javelins on my back.
Yep.
That's about it.
So the plan is to hunt anything that comes near the hole, but the two of us are not able to hunt with any level of distance.
Right. There's one thing I want to try. I'm gonna take one of my arrows and I want to light it on fire.
Okay.
I see what your plan is. Should we perhaps?
How do you go about doing that exactly?
I mean, worst case, I will take some cloth and like wrap it up. And full on Molotov, because I'm assuming there's alcohol here somewhere.
I don't have any.
The one fucking time that we need alcohol. The only time I want to have alcohol. And we don't have it.
I would have had some had we not been, tried to be taken back to slavery by bounty hunter dude.
Fine. Do you have any? No, that's a bad idea.
I mean,
Why
I
was
have
thinking
a
that?
torch in my pack. That's about it.
We could take oil from torch.
Could probably take the cloth from the torch.
Yeah, let's do that.
So he just pulls out his bag and rummages through it. It pulls out a small torch that has like a bundle of cloth wrapped around it that you gather has been thoroughly soaked in probably animal fat, if I had to guess, or grease of some kind, something to make it flammable.
Beautiful. Love it. Love everything about it.
This might do what you need to do. So am I to understand that your plan is to shoot flaming arrow on top of the bush?
Oh, I want to shoot it right at the hole. At
Yeah,
the
Isn't the
door.
hole
the
in
bu-
the bush?
Yeah, the door is literally
Oh.
built under the
Yeah.
dried shrubs.
Yeah.
The shrubbery.
Perhaps before you shoot, let me get
Thanks for
closer.
luck.
Oh, I'm not necessarily looking for combat. If I can't starve it out, then I don't want to let it sleep.
Perhaps you can smoke it out.
That is
Something
a
like
good
that.
idea.
I would say, generally speaking, insects, even massive ones, do not like fire.
Right. So,
So you spend the time for making this flaming arrow. I'm gonna say roll me a survival check
okay.
with
I'm not-
advantage because making arrows is something you're
I've done
good
before.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're probably
be
fairly
right
competent.
back.
Sure.
Okay. 24.
Okay, so you managed to bind the cloth. The torch is now useless. You use pretty much all of it, and what you don't use is mostly English, word, mouth, memory,
No,
times.
I understand.
Yeah, in shambles. Like you pretty much had to tear some cloth away and
Yeah.
everything. It's a useless torch now, but you do manage to make a seemingly feasible, easily fireable, flaming arrow. Now, are you sure you want to do this, my friend?
I mean, the beauty is that we don't actually have to engage it in melee combat, but it does have to engage us. So,
Up, Sim.
um,
Well, if that is the case, worst comes to worst, we throw my brother at it, right?
I said
Excuse
no
me, what?
I said no such thing, but I'm like nodding at him the
No,
entire
no,
time.
I'm saying it. My brother was good at two things in this world: being shiny and fighting things.
Here's the thing. I will probably need, if this does turn into a fight, I'm probably going to actually need you both to do something. But, hold on.
Oh, did somebody have an idea?
I did. Brother. Not my brother, but a brother.
Why are you talking with accent? What the fuck's wrong with you?
It happens when I am hanging out with people. I pick up their accents. It's a rogue thing. Don't worry about it.
My fiance has actually begun to sound like she's from New Brunswick, so that is a thing that happens.
Oh
Figured
yeah,
it.
no, I know. Stanislav, you have. God damn it. Stanislav. Yeah, wait.
What could I do for you?
Yeah. Quick question for you.
Yes.
If you were to, I don't know, let's say, use one of your smites. Do you have one that burns things?
I have several ways to burn things, yes.
Okay. I'm going to try to piss off Spider because if it's just a running game, I think the only person who can probably keep up is you. And I point to
Keep up.
Ilsevere.
Yeah, of
My
course.
brother is very, very fast.
But you could get on not Beethier, the new one.
Nikesh.
Yes, so we bring Spider away. And while Spider is away, I want you to burn its home to the ground. I want you to light up that hole. Make sure that I want you.
Sorry, you said light up that hole?
Yeah, I want it to just be overflowing. Like,
Okay.
I have to hit a thing, like a creature, in order to set fire. I can't just hit bush.
This got it. Okay, well,
I feel like flaming arrow will be sufficient. Fire,
okay.
dry bush, probably spider webs.
All right,
Put two
Fine.
and two together, it should work, right?
it should. Okay. Then in that case, here's the general plan. If what's our escape route look like in theory? If we have to cut and run, is that an option?
Running is always an option, my friend.
Okay. In that
More
case,
likely to succeed on horseback. Don't know how
Right.
fast that creature is, but based on the fact it's an ambush predator, probably not the fastest.
Probably not, and it shouldn't be able to outrun a horse. Okay.
Well, very few things can, so that makes sense.
Now I understand that you are not a specialist in ranged combat, but
I can manage.
for the sake of this, do you have anything ranged on you currently?
He just taps the javelins on his back and the spear he wields, but
He has 2 javelins.
I
thanks for hosting the try.
hand Ilsevere my crossbow and the bolts.
Our monk's proficient in crossbow. I feel like they're simple weapons, yes?
No, crossbow's a martial
crossbow or
weapon.
martial.
He is not proficient, I don't believe.
Okay, then ignore that, I guess.
I mean, he can still use it, he's just not getting any of his
No,
bonuses,
it's
I believe.
better.
Yeah,
I
short sword
guess.
and simple weapons, that's it.
Okay, well, in that case, no crossbow.
Your brother, take some more of these javelins. I'm gonna take out 2 more of them and give them to him.
To be fair, if we wait long enough that I go through 2 of them, it's probably going to be a little close after that.
I'm gonna light
Good
up.
point.
I'm gonna light up the thing. I'd like everyone to stick to maximum, well, not maximum at disadvantage, but like the maximum range. Stay in formation. Let it come to us. If it starts running, keep on its tail, but don't get close enough. It can turn around.
Sounds good to me.
And then, worst case, run like fucking hell.
That is something I'm good at.
Light up
Right.
the. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna first call for Ikesh to come here, and I'm gonna mount Ikesh and I'm gonna be on horseback for this
Okay.
combat if it turns into combat.
I will not be. Monks are better on their feet. However, since we're going to approach, I'll allow everyone to drag their minis out onto the map.
Onto the map.
Onto the map. Where's my library? NPCs. I had an Elsevier one. There we go. Purple tiefling. Maximum range of a javelin, I believe, is 20 feet.
30
30?
with a disadvantage range of 120.
Okay, so he's going to go 30 feet from that square.
But
So anyone who is moving, Autumn, I'd say you'd probably be more up there because it's the sand dune you were hiding behind.
yeah,
So
I'll probably also get on horseback too.
okay, so Stanny, I need you to make me a stealth check along with Ilsevere since we're both moving.
Okay, sorry.
24. Man, I'm killing it on the stealth checks this week, eh?
Yeah.
I'm also gonna be within 30 feet, but like further down.
Yeah, I'm going to separate so he'll actually go up there so there's more space between us and we can kind of funnel it if we need to.
Are these rocks on the ground?
Bushes and cacti.
Okay, I'm gonna hide behind a cacti.
You're kind of out of the more rocky area. Like, it's rocky enough you could build a den, but there's not like a bunch of big rocks to use as cover. You can use cactuses and bush, though. For
Yep.
like, I'd say
Half cover.
half cover, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide behind this big old cacti.
Ilsevere
They're the ones.
gonna
They're the
chill
ones
out in
with the
open.
arms.
So roll me a stealth check, please, Stanny.
What's my roll?
It's a 9.
Oh boy.
At this point, you can all see it clear as day from this distance as you begin to approach. Ilsevere moves very silently, once again, just kind of jumping from hard stone to hard stone, very easily disguising his movement. However, Stanislav, on horseback specifically, it would also have been the horse's stealth, whatever that might be. I don't know what the stats for your warhorse are. I don't think they're the stealthiest creatures around. What's up, Canna? How's it going, buddy?
+1 dex.
Okay,
So
so
it would have
be
been 2 less than that.
7.
Yeah.
You do see the trapdoor start to open again, and then just close silently. Just waiting for its prey to come within striking range. I will say, based on the average intelligence of the party, you can figure that it is geared to attack from one direction. The hatch literally opens up and is attached.
Did it open
kind
in
of-
my direction?
No, it opened directly towards where the spider is facing, towards the watering hole.
Okay, so it opened towards the water, like perpendicular to where I am right now.
Yeah, it's kind of, like it could probably like come out the side at you, but not as
Yep.
easily.
Okay.
Ilsevere just draws a javelin in one hand, holds his spear in the other,
Mhm.
Kind of looks over his shoulder to Otten, just raises the spear and flicks it forward, ready to go.
I'm gonna draw 2 javelins as well.
Okay. I'm gonna say Otten, roll me an attack.
Okay, I'm gonna use my,
Rogue ability.
yeah, so I'm not gonna move this turn. I'm gonna attack with advantage.
Yeah. Give her.
So,
Rock that shit.
And aren't you just aiming for the bush? I mean, that
oh,
30.
okay.
Yeah,
Got
I mean,
first.
bushes like were essentially we were aiming to see if he hits the bush exactly. B, if he rolls high enough to get like a good flame going. With a nat 20, you certainly do. So you all watch as the arrow just arcs from the top of the sand dune and lands right into the bushes, and they immediately the dry shrubbery just begins to ignite almost immediately.
Can I do something?
As it does that, we're going to take our break.
Yeah.
And the fire begins to spread. Smoke begins to billow into the sky. We're going to take a quick 10-minute break here, folks. Everyone's going to hit the bathroom, get ready for this combat, and then we're going to move on with the session. I want to thank everyone who's come by so far. Thank you so much, Zombie, for that raid. We love every single one of you. There's so many people. Shanna Bean, thank you for coming in. Holy Darno, thank you. Latroy, thank you. Mystics Wolf, thank you. Everybody, y'all been the best. Canna, thanks for popping in here too. We'll be back in just about 10 minutes. Gonna pop to our little break screen here. Please sit tight. We will be back in just a moment. What is up, folks? We're back, skis. I hope everyone's
And
having a
spider
good one. Yeah, spider fight. I hope everyone had a good little break there. Got myself a Mountain Dew, some fresh H2O.
Mountain Dew, you know.
I just haven't had it in so long. It was on sale. I was like, fuck yeah, let's rock some Mountain Dew for a bit. Anyway. Oh, those scorpions sound like a big spider. This actually worked out. Good sound set. So you pull your arrow back, loose it, get the perfect target, find the biggest dry shrub right in the middle of this patch on top of this spider's trapdoor, and fire it. For a second, you're not sure if it's going to catch, and then you see smoke begin to billow out of the pile of the growth of shrubs here, and it just in a swift movement begins to all ignite, and you see the ground beneath it, which you now see to be made up mostly of debris and some spider webs to hold it all together, begins to burn as well. And you see it begin to move as something underneath it begins to panic. And you see even more of the trapdoor being revealed as the sand slowly is being knocked off of it. It's quite intricately made. It's a combination of like woven sticks, twigs, and shrubs mixed together with a little bit of spider silk to just form this perfectly made trapdoor through which this creature attacks. And as it begins to move, you see it open and the face begin to emerge, and it quickly skitters out from under its trapdoor to get away from the massive flames that have just started to burn its lair. That was a natural 20 on the first strike of the combat for Mike, or for Axioms.
Yeah.
So we both have a prepared action. We're both going to throw javelins at it, right?
Actually, if it's possible, I'd like to use thaumaturgy to make the flames spread and attempt to ignite the spider.
Oh, I'll allow that. Yeah, you can use thaumaturgy to make fire bigger, can't you?
Yeah. Cause it to brighten, yeah.
Okay. I'll allow that. Roll me a,
So, like,
I'll say
yeah,
a magic
what's
attack
this?
for that.
Just
Using
with
your
my spell attack modifier?
Yeah.
With my modifier or my spell attack modifier?
Spell attack modifier.
Okay. Big difference. Will this roll?
Oh, that was the wrong dice. It's d6 plus 4 anyway.
Yes, 24.
24. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
That'll do it. I'm going to say roll me a d6.
Okay. And hopefully it's ignited. 6! Let's go.
Oh, that came up in D&D Beyond again.
My custom rolls don't seem to ever go through.
Use the little dice icon on Roll20, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't bother me. It shows up over here. I just need to make sure that's not always the screen that's up. Anyway, so you essentially spread the fire out and flash. It's not so much a sustained burst of flame. It's more of just a quick flaring. And while you do singe the creature, it does not manage to set it alight. But it does take 6 points of burning damage from your roll.
Sweet. And I'm
Yeah.
sure it doesn't like that.
And as long as it's within proximity of it, it is going to be at disadvantage. So once it gets out of proximity of the flames, it will be okay, but at the moment it's currently suffering disadvantage to any of its stuff. Because it is afraid of the fire, and you all surprised it. At that point, I do need everyone to go ahead and roll me initiative, however.
All right, let's get
20. Oh, I didn't have an initiative thing open. Fuck, 1 sec.
Oh,
It still went through. Look at that.
Neat.
Don't know
I
who
got a
that person
18.
is.
So
This is a giant
Got a
spider.
19. Oh my
and
God.
18 for Auden. Okay. Auden's just like enough out of the map. I can't hit the freaking add turn button. It's driving me insane.
oh yeah, sometimes you have to zoom out, and it is annoying.
I zoomed all the way out. It's at the top of the list. Hate it. You had an 18?
Yep.
I'm going to roll for Ilsevere, your friendly NPC. Hate running NPCs. He rolls fucking 12. Sucks to suck. Okay. Descending. So the spider gets to start. That makes me happy. I don't know. I think it's smart enough to detect spellcasting, but it is smart enough to detect 7 points of piercing damage from the... As you ignite the fire and it begins to wriggle away from it, Ilsevere steps forward and hurls his javelin towards it, finding purchase through the creature's natural armors. And it sinks into the back of it and it kind of begins to shimmy away and wince, or what you would assume to be a spider, giant spider, wincing in pain as it begins to recoil. It did come out of its burrow as part of its like fear thing. And it's gonna turn around and move. Doesn't really have anything you can fucking do from a distance. I'm gonna say if it's a 4, 5, or 6, it's gonna run from the fire. If it's a 1, 2, or 3, it's gonna attack Ilsevere. Okay, it's gonna run from the fire. $20 feet, 30 feet. So it flees. It begins to immediately flee from its hole, away from the flames that have burned it and the stinging pain in the back of its carapace. And it begins to scurry and kind of takes cover behind some palm trees and tries to get somewhere safer than its current whereabouts. You're not sure if it's running away completely or if it's just reassessing its position. Is it ready to abandon its home? Stanislav, your turn is up.
Okay. I just kind of look over towards Ilsevere and Auden, kind of waiting for an affirmation of whether or not I should go. And I'm just gonna, I don't know. Because my horse gets movement and an action, yeah? As well as...
I believe so, as part of your fine steed, yes. You can command it to do something. I don't know if that takes one of your actions.
Well, I just want to use his movement, not mine.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how mounting works. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, because it says you are a seamless unit both in and out of combat, so I assume that means that
you
like,
are
he
one.
can move an attack, because he has an attack action, a bite attack or some shit.
Yeah, I'll allow it if you want to try biting the spider.
Attack. I don't know
Clomp.
Yeah,
attack.
I mean...
I like that. I like clomp attack. I hope that
Sure.
sticks.
Okay, so he's like scurried away from his hole there. Fuck it. I'm gonna... Yeah, so I'll get him to move within 30 feet, about there-ish.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw my javelin.
Give her.
I have. Yeah, yeet. That is a 26.
Jeez, yeah, that
And
hits.
that 18. Yeah. And that will be 9 piercing damage.
9.
Nice.
Okay.
And then
So
I
as
mean
you-
my horse can move 60 feet.
Yeah, so as you begin to trot forward, kind of at a brisk pace, not at full speed, with the reins in one hand, kind of as you're holding your shield strapped to your arm, you just raise up a javelin, huck it towards the creature, and just, again, kind of find purchase on the opposite side from where Ilsevere already had, wounding it on the other side. The javelin doesn't stick in it this time, though. It does fall out as it's moving away from you. But it
I'm
definitely...
not even going to worry about retrieving it.
Yeah, no, it falls into the sand, but you see like a small wound and a little bit of greenish ichor beginning to leak out the side of this creature.
Good. And then Akesh the Warhorse is going to do a trampling charge.
Trample the large spider.
Target is... I don't know if it's immune and prone. Okay, but it must succeed on a DC 14 strength saving throw.
It is not immune to prone.
Cool.
It was a +6 instead of a +3. Doesn't matter. It rolled in D&D Beyond anyway. Fuck you. Did I say do that? Did I say that was... No, okay, it's an 11. It doesn't save.
Nice. The spider is not prone.
You spur a cash forward and it just kind of runs, tramples over this spider and it flattens down into the sand.
Cool.
I mean, you guys came up with a good way of dealing with it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say you ran for that. You would have had to run past it. You need to like trample over it, right? Or you just run up and...
I mean, not necessarily. You could have like
Just
you could have
starts
taken out one of the big back legs, and the spider could have tripped over itself.
Like a bull riding competition.
Hit
Just
maneuver
starts
it.
Fucking jumping on.
A man riding a horse, riding a spider—that's the oddest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh my god.
Oh, I hate you so much sometimes.
And then for my bonus action, I am gonna cast Searing Smite.
You can
I'm gonna
cast
draw my
Searing
weapon.
Smite through your horse? Oh no, you just
No,
cast
no.
it on... Yeah, I got you. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna draw my sword, which I haven't used any of my movement.
Yeah,
So
yeah, good.
draw my sword, cast Searing Smite.
And that's your turn.
And yeah,
Okay.
that was dope.
Aten. It's kind of covered by the trees between you and your line of sight right now, so it has,
Yeah,
I'd say, about half cover, but you have sharpshooter anyway, so it doesn't
And
matter.
it's prone.
And it's prone, so it's disadvantage
Oh,
shots.
it's prone actually is the bigger deal.
Yeah, so you're firing at disadvantage.
I mean, it goes from like this to like this, though. It's a spider.
It doesn't just flip onto its back because you
I'm gonna
trampled it. It
hold-
flattened
I'm
out.
gonna-
It's flat on its stomach and held down by your horse.
I'ma hold my action, and wait for it to not be prone to fire off a shot.
Ilsevere is just gonna look back at you, Aten. Shrug.
You see like Aten. No,
I
Aten's too focused now.
He's
He's
gonna
like,
use his free action. I told you, point him in the direction and he will go.
By the way, I didn't even know Warhorse could do that until I looked at the Warhorse sheet 5 seconds
This
before
is
it did
why
that.
we read our stat blocks. He's going to... I don't even know.
just wait. Just wait.
Yeah, he's gonna just advance a little bit, not quite that far, and just pull out the half movement would be. He's a monk, so he has 40 feet. So it's right about there. He's gonna pull out his other javelin and just wait for a minute. He doesn't want to directly engage yet. See how you do. The spider's angry. It's prone. It's going to use half its movement to stand from prone, and it's going to attack Ikesh. It's just going to immediately... Yeah, it's going to slam it with its fucking faceplate. So it turns towards you, and you see now, like, from up close, this is a thick, heavily armored evolution that this trapdoor spider has eventually evolved to, like, melee and stun its opponents if any don't go down with the first bite. And it turns and it just rams directly into your warhorse.
I'm just making sure that I can...
It's a 16 to hit your warhorse.
I mean, I think that hits, but I'm just... No, I can't make an attack target me instead of the horse. That's a different thing.
Yes.
I think that's a fighter cavalier thing.
So
Oh, that for sure hits. He has an AC of 11.
8 points of bludgeoning damage to you. And
Okay.
I need a constitution save from your... Actually, it's strength. I think I set the wrong save on the homebrew sheet. I know it's
Here's
stunned, so it is con. Yeah.
Okay, never mind that then. Here's the con save.
I mean, would you roll on the first one?
No, it's a
16 plus
+4
1.
rather than a +1.
I'll just add the 1 to the 16. You
Oh,
have to roll twice.
shit, okay.
That's 17. You succeed.
Okay, sweet. And he's
Yeah.
good. He's 11 hit points.
So the horse kind of like reins back a little bit and kind of like has to regain its footing. It took a pretty big hit, but it's still standing.
He's probably like, "Oh," in my head.
Mm-hmm. Can't really do much else right now.
Damn.
I don't know if it's smart enough to know it's going to get attacks of opportunity if it runs. But I'm going to say it's not wise. Yeah, it's not smart enough to know. It's going to try to back up. And, like, just keep recoiling away from you a little bit so you can take an attack of opportunity.
It's no longer prone, right?
Yeah, it used half its movement, so it only has 15 feet to go back.
Cool.
Go for it.
Fire your shot.
Oh, right. I have to do it like this.
You have to roll.
Okay. That's probably going to miss. 13.
It does not make it through the armor, unfortunately. So
That's fair.
as you loose your first arrow of the combat, or I guess second arrow of the combat, first one was the fire, it just kind of glances off the armored plate that this creature's developed in the front of its body.
Impressive.
23, however, does hit Stanislav. As it's kind of recoiling, you just bring the longsword down and kind of stab over the armored piece. Sink the blade right into the car. Oh, the sound effect linked up. That was cool. That was a javelin. You roll damage for?
Why did? Oh, yeah. Sorry, that should be the longsword damage. Let me roll that.
You always
we go,
roll better
11.
with one-handed than you do two.
I know. I don't get it.
Either way, you stab, pull it out, and again, there's like this spray of kind of greenish, ichorish blood.
And so yeah, 11 plus 5 fire damage.
After a Constitution save, which it makes. Does
Con
it take?
save for what?
Does DC 15 Constitution save? I'm just reading what Roll20 tells me.
Where's my?
Oh, on Searing Smite to see if it stays on
yeah.
fire. Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah.
Does not catch on fire, but it will take the 5 fire damage.
Cool.
And the 11 points of fucking stabbing damage. Goddamn. Okay. So as you put the sword in, you hold it for a moment as the Searing Smite takes place, and just, you see this burst of divine energy, and you twist the sword as you recoil it.
No,
out.
this is fire.
Celestial fire energy.
Okay.
You're a paladin. Just go with it. It's bright fucking golden fire. Like everything you do, it is bright and just gold.
Even though this one is a racial feature, it is. I mean, all my shit looks the same.
Yep.
You have a theme, and I'm just rolling with it.
This one's extra fiery.
Work with me here, damn it.
Stanislav, it's your turn.
Wait, again? Okay.
That was your attack of opportunity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's your turn.
Sweet.
There's only 4 of you in this combat. It's short.
Alrighty. I don't like what you did to my horse, you bitch. So I'm gonna have, yeah, I'm gonna have Akesh trample him again. Attempt to trample him because
I
I'm
love it.
20 feet away.
God
Love it.
damn it.
So, he has to make a DC
You make-
14 strength saving throw.
I love it. You circumvent my plans to ambush you by setting it on fire, and then it gets to do its thing. I'm so happy. Go ahead. Go ahead. Roll that trample.
No, it's no damage. It has to
It's a
make the strength
save.
saving throw. Yeah.
13.
It fails by 1. Let's go.
Right.
So it's prone again.
Fuck.
And now I'm going to use my 2 attacks
Mhm.
with the longsword.
No ranged attacks this round.
So 20 and a 28.
Both hit substantially at this point. You're just like your horse is now standing on top of it, hitting it to the ground a bit, and you're just fucking
Excellent.
stabbing and slashing into the back of it.
I am going to
Don't one tap my creature.
dump
Not
a
one
second
tap.
level smite into the first one and a first level smite into the second one. Yeah. So it'll be an extra 3d8 of radiant damage on top of 24 points of slashing damage plus another 20 radiant damage.
Still standing.
God damn it!
Just barely. Like I said, you just ride up, trample onto it, and just begin stabbing down repeatedly.
Excellent.
And every time you do, there's just this radiant glow emerging from the wound, and then followed by the ever-increasing amount of green blood leaking out of this creature. It's still standing,
And then
barely.
For my
It's
bonus
bloodied.
action, I'm going to cast Shield of Faith on me and the horse.
Awesome. You have bloodied it. Jesus.
Well, I would hope so. That's 44 points of damage right there.
Yeah, substantially bloodied it.
Yeah.
Auden, your turn. The creature's prone yet again.
I'm gonna use a free action to be like, would you quit getting within punching distance of it and knocking it down? And I'm gonna hold an action to shoot again.
So severe is just like. I need my
Okay,
ruler.
sorry.
What is El Severe's movement? I believe it's 45. Oh, he's fucking fast. He's a monk. I forgot.
It's a monk, yeah. I think he
Yeah.
can move 50 feet.
He's gonna
It's fine.
just scoot over here and throw a javelin at it. And it hits. 9 points of piercing damage. Yeah, it's the creature's standing, but only just. That's still got a bit. But it just kind of like walks up at this point, a little frustrated. Throws it very expertly, and once again sinks almost like to the right of where his first one, or where your shot had impacted, kind of making that wound bigger. And as he's doing, he says, "Brother, whatever happened to following the plan?"
That's more fun this way.
And he just kind of twirls his spear in his hand and gets ready to potentially either throw or engage in melee combat with that.
Boom!
I have loud neighbor.
A meteor falls through your roof.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
That's frustrating. Anyway,
God, that
okay.
sound was terrifying.
It was. So it's the spider's turn. He is going to once again. I mean, your warhorse is like 5 feet tall. You're essentially out of his attack range just by sitting on it. Not quite, but he's prone, so he's going to use half his movement to get up yet again. But this time he's going to use his. No, he's going to take another try to take a shot at your fucking horse again.
Mhm.
Natural 20.
Okay, so I fall to the ground.
Yeah, so the creature just disappears. This confuses the spider for a moment.
Yeah, no blood or anything. He just in a flash of light.
Like vanishes and kind of recoils a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Bamboozled, flim-flammed. However, he is going to use his multi-attack to take a bite. Like you. There's a 15, which does not hit because you have super armor. So as your horse just disappears and you fall to the ground, it ooh. No, it's fine. I was gonna make you have a dex check to see if you fall prone, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway. So he makes the bite, and you just put the shield up, and you see just like a tip of the fang kind of put a small dent into your shield. Not enough to go through it, but there's a clear dent now where that thing
is. My reaction to try to cut the fang off at disadvantage?
No, because it wouldn't be an attack of opportunity, and those are the only attacks you can take on reaction, unless you're holding one. It is your turn, however.
Okay. Fuck, I'm just gonna attack him twice.
It's not a smart creature. It has survival instinct, but not that much, and it was tired of getting trampled.
27? I know 27 hits, but 14?
14 just barely hits.
Woo. Good stuff. So I'm gonna dump a smite into the first one.
Oh, jeez.
Just first level smite. So that's 11 plus... plus 1c8. What does that mean?
I don't know what that was.
Let's try this again. There we go. Plus, so that's 15 points of damage.
Jeez, buddy.
Is he dead?
Not yet.
Plus another smite.
Plus the smite before?
No, I'm gonna smite again.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm out of spell slots now, but that is going to be 14 points of slashing damage. Holy shit!
go!
How do you want to do
Plus,
this?
Mm.
Describe your
Damn
kill.
So on the first one, so I don't need to smite on the second one then.
Now, do you?
If this just straight up kills him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the first one is just like a big
God.
old
Everything went to
like
shit.
come
Okay,
across
everything is bad.
slash, and there's a big flash of light, and then as the spider's reeling, I just bring it around facing down, stab it through its dumb big eyes.
And it just looks up at you, and you see its mandibles click a couple times, and then the legs just go flat as it falls into the sand, and you just stand there with your sword embedded deep into its brain, and you just pull it out, and it makes this disgusting squelching sound as you do.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Meat was always on the whatever.
I had based this encounter 100% on the fact you guys have ran into every other encounter face first. Well, serves me right. Serves me right.
All right. Well, now that Shelob is gone, let's check the let's check the hole. See what's inside.
All right. I'm gonna go look at in the hole.
I wanna take a look at the trap hole, see if it had like a surplus of.
Here, you lift it up, and I will be ready to stab anything that
I
comes.
mean, it's still on fire.
Oh,
It's just been burning away.
Hey, Stanislav, come here for a second.
hold on, I can help with this. Just chill.
Yeah. The key is to stop, drop, and roll. You'll be fine. Go.
I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to put the fire out.
Oh, that'll work too.
That does it.
It takes a minute.
Yeah.
I have to do it over the course of like several castings.
You just focus on it for a while, and eventually the flames begin to fizzle out. Jesus. You slayed my
And
fucking
eventually I'll
hero.
just go stomp the embers out.
It does begin to dissipate, and the door has been mostly destroyed. Everything burning inside was the contents of the hole, and mostly the webbing used in its construction. So you do find a number of like singed corpses. They didn't have enough time to really burn, per se, but there's definitely like the smell of cooking people. Oh, we gotta hydrate. Everyone hydrate. Anyway. You killed my spider. I worked hard on that spider. You killed it. Either way. Yeah.
You sound just like Hagrid. My God.
I love my spider.
She did.
Yeah, the smell of cooking man flesh brings back a number of either pleasant or unpleasant memories from your
All right, that guy tasted delicious.
from your time on the island. This spider that I made. Oh fuck, I did the thing again. This is the most annoying shit.
I'm just gonna be looking for like armor shards or
It has
something.
a big red
like,
X through it now, but it's
proof.
invisible at the moment. It's a big ass spider, and they killed it. I mean, apart from
You can change the Sirenscape music now too.
oh yeah, there's no more combat. I can change the combat music. I need people to do this shit for me. I need a sound crew. It's fine. So you looking in the hole, and once again, smell of cooking meat is rather unpleasant, especially when it's human. But you do manage to run through some of the bodies. There's some basic armors that are left, a few weapons, and you find one individual whose clothing has mostly burned off at this point. He appears to have just been wearing robes. You do find some remnants of what appear to be the robes of a member of the Magus Imperium. Perhaps a mage of some kind who was traveling this way on maybe an assignment or something, and ended up stumbling into this trap. Most of his garb is burned, however, laying near his body in what you assume to be the remnants of his pockets, you find a small leather-bound, like yay thick and yay wide, like a box, kind of. Or a small square satchel.
I will take the box / satchel, and then like I said, any like armor shards, for proof of the scouting party, basically.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some remnants of Hushroot armor down here. Again, most of the cloth has been burned off, but you see that the very signature color of the chainmail links and everything. You see one has a large hole where the chest would have been, gathering that was the death blow for this particular individual. But you gathered enough, you think, to prove, or as much as you want. Do you open the package? Or the container?
No, that's not what I'm being paid for.
Fair enough.
I'm assuming the contents are gonna be of interest to my proprietor and therefore not my problem.
Yep. So you find all that, and collectively maybe about 15 gold on these people. They weren't carrying much. The Imperium fellow had a platinum piece on him as well.
Okay.
So about, 25 gold altogether if you want to divvy that up.
I'll take the gold. And I'll divvy it up between us. That's all right. Are you ready? Okay.
You were both looting the hole, correct?
No.
Okay.
Not me. No, I'm making sure that you guys are all right. No other spiders came out and attacked you.
Yeah, I'm fine. You ran in there in a way I really should have just seen coming.
Well, I pushed it away from the hole and then killed it. I mean, sort of worked all right. Thought that was planned.
No, I told you the plan was to stay out of its range, attack it in a way that if it did run away, you were only like on the outskirts of what it. You know what? Never mind. It's done. It's over. Where's the alcohol? Right, we don't have any. Fuck.
That's why we buy the elven wine. You hear Linex's voice echoing in your head.
Yeah, all good prophecies rhyme. Now shut up. So.
Well, problem solved. Shit.
Yes, it worked out. Let's grab. All right, here we go. Stanislav, I'm gonna split up the coin from everybody. So Stanislav, that's one for you.
I happily take the platinum piece. Thank you.
Akash, that's 2 gold for you. Or no, I didn't give you the platinum, did I? Did I say platinum?
My horse. Well, I took the platinum out of your hand though.
I don't.
My horse takes 2 gold.
No, 1 gold for you, Stanislav. 1, 2 for you, Akash. 1, 2, 3 for me. 2 for you. 2, 4 for you. 1, 2. Yeah.
You're being very weird.
Don't worry about it.
How much gold do I have now?
So 25 split 3 ways is like 7 a person.
Plus some pocket change, yeah.
Actually, that would be 8 per person.
Yes, 8 per person, my bad.
And 1 piece left over.
For the horse.
For the horse.
Actually, I don't have a horse right now. Shit.
As you try to hand it to Osfield, I don't need it.
Okay, and I keep it.
Find anything else? Sees you holding the Hushroot armor.
Oh,
is that like the same as mine?
Similar.
Looking?
Giant hole in the center of it.
I mean, I found a box. I'm planning on returning to the client. I'll like show him real quick and then stuff it back in my inventory.
I mean, that's fair. Is there anything cool in it?
I haven't opened it yet. I'm not being paid to care.
You're a very practical man. Appreciate that.
It's part of the it's part of what made gave my people a reputation. Care about what you have to. Don't give a shit about anything else.
We're quite familiar with people's reputation at this point, having fought them many times.
I'm beginning to get that. It's interesting hearing other people talk about my family from the other side. Gotta say, never been prouder.
I mean, we respect the dedication. It's just been a bit of an annoyance lately. However, you seem different from your kin.
I doubt that.
Practicality, perhaps not.
I think that you'll find that my goals align with my kin, just in a very different direction.
You'd like to see us all return to chains, then?
I sincerely, how do I put this to you? My people are not really people who care too much about chains. Or at least that's not how I see them. But they do care about a job. Not the same thing.
The job is putting people in chains.
Well, that's what they're being paid to do. You paid me to put somebody in chains.
Practical as always.
Give me enough, I might do it.
Enough. We should head back. Or rest
go.
the evening and go in the morning. Your choice.
Oh no, I'm perfectly okay. We've done the task, and honestly, it might be good to stake out the area a little longer, just in
And-
case Daddy comes home.
Actually, while you guys were talking, Stanislav has gone over to the spider and started hacking off its legs.
There you go.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna
Delicious
need
meat
those
in
too.
there. Grab what you can, brother, but I like to travel light.
I was just
Taps
planning
like
on
the
bringing
small
back.
satchel at his side. And that's pretty much all he goes with.
I was planning on just bringing back enough for perhaps tonight and tomorrow.
Is anyone hurt?
No, we never got close. Well, we lost a horse.
Yeah, the spider tried to take a swipe at me, but wasn't anything special.
So yeah, we're fine.
All right.
I don't know. Either that or I got super lucky.
Back home it is then.
I don't have a horse. That is a problem.
Well, we're gonna take a rest regardless, and we'll head home tomorrow. I'm assuming in the morning you can create Ikesh or Beethier, or maybe this time it'll be Torin. I don't know.
Well, no, Torn is.
That might be in poor taste, brother.
Yeah, no, Torn is. Yeah, no. It's a terrible name for a horse. What are you thinking?
Okay. Let's rest and go back and get paid, shall we?
I mean, it's still fairly early in the morning, but yes.
What do you have? What do you have for spells? Can you make a new?
No.
Can you? Okay.
Okay, so we rest.
Yeah.
Magic types.
Wait, hold. Yeah, never mind. Can you regain meta level, by the way, now? Because
Meta.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
yeah,
minute.
you might be going where I'm going. Your thing where you can regain a spell slot. Yeah.
I am going to use Harness Divine Power
There you
to
go.
gain a second level spell slot and
Yep.
cast.
Okay. All right, so we're
Take
heading
10
home this afternoon.
minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll say you have to do a whole short rest. So you guys are planning on resting anyway, so just do like a 30-minute short down, sit down,
Sure.
allow the horse time to reacclimate after being crit slammed in the face.
I'm going to let him do his thing wherever he is, and I'm going to summon Beethier this time.
Yeah, we got the cam. Nice.
Better for desert travel, for sure.
Okay,
Even
gonna be
rocky
like-
terrain, he's better on.
We're gonna have it like Ben 10 by the time we're done, where each animal has its own
Dramatic death backstory.
backstory.
Oh my god, I love it. All right, so you take a brief rest where you allow Stanislav to resummon his faithful steed. At which point, the three of you make your way into the desert. Once again, the more lithe steppe horses that are bred in this region are a little more nimble, but camels are a little more suited to long distance travel through the desert. So you move at a slow and steady pace. You're not having to take as many breaks as the smaller horses are, who stop occasionally during the travels to
I would imagine
to
if
just
it's a day,
recuperate a bit.
Beethier has
6.
no problem just knocking it out.
Like 5 to 6 hours, yeah. Like it's just, but they do stop occasionally for water, whereas Beethier just keeps powering through, and they kind of catch up to you,
Yep.
ride past.
Because I
and it's
did
kind of
roll
like
high
an
enough
endless-
to remember the way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, and at the point that you're coming up to the canyon entrance to the ruins of Vilsrin, like where you'd have to enter to get there, your brother and Arten are already waiting for you, having caught up and passed you at that point of the journey. And the three of you now moving at the same pace through the narrow canyons, make your way back to the ruins of Vilsrin, where you find a slightly more populated village waiting for you. There seems to be a new group that has arrived recently overnight, and you see a number of soldiers there, still from the Hushroot Tribe, like a number of tribe mates who were not previously there, and appears to have arrived recently, and all appear somewhat disheveled. It appears the population has once again grown.
How many of those spider legs could I have hauled on the back of my camel?
Your
'Cause
camel.
all of them?
They're like a pack thing. I mean, I'll say like 8 sections.
Mhm.
'Cause there's like 3 sections per arm. And you can take the 3 longest, or the longest section from each, and you have 8 of those bundled together.
Sweet.
Yeah. Essentially like logs tied to the back.
'Cause I have a rope, but yeah,
You're good. You bundled those up.
bind it with that.
So you have 8 sections of spider leg, which are about 2 feet long each.
This will hopefully feed everybody here.
That was your goal? It wasn't. Never mind.
I mean, yeah, you think I could eat this all myself before it goes bad? Holy shit.
As
That's
you,
fat.
as you enter the gates, the guards part for Ilsevere, who they recognize immediately. They still, having recognized Axiom or Autumn
Yeah.
over a number of days now, still kind of give you the look like you're an outsider here a little bit. But you do come with success. You're here having successfully completed your task, and Stanislav has even brought a sizable amount of delicious spider meat for the tribe. I'm not sure how spider meat cooks. We're gonna have to look into that.
Hey,
Like lobster.
Asamar from the Thorn region of God damn
Make
it.
like spider ichor soup.
No, like
Spider tendon.
Ashley Johnson's character in season 2 loves spider.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Either
Those
way,
ASMR. Anyways.
You ride in on your shiny golden camel. I'm assuming shining in all his brilliance at this point.
Oh, double. No, because this is Baythier, not
full shine.
Cash.
Full
Yes,
shine.
just
Golden
normal
camel.
full shine. Yeah.
Yeah, golden camel. I love it. Lynax quickly sees you approaching. He's sitting around the fire, enjoying yet another glass of wine. With what appears to be a member of the other party. He sees you and he kind of puts his hand on the guy's shoulder and gives him like the "I'll be back in a minute" kind of gesture. And makes his way over to you. Kind of grabs both your horse, Aten and Ilsevir's, by the bridle and hold it together and kind of leads the horses away while you dismount. So you've made it back then.
Yep.
Did we ever? We brought dinner.
Yes, I see that. Can't say I've ever tried spider meat.
I thought he was bringing a trophy. Just proof of kill.
I would have just brought one if that was necessary.
You know what we say, waste not, want not. I'm sure someone can find a purpose for it.
Generally, I agree.
The spiders are tasty.
Here. And I'm going to hand him armor shards as well as the box.
He kind of just like fingers over the armor and puts his hand in the hole in the center. Shame. They were good lads.
Sure they were.
He drapes it. I'll see if I can get it repaired. Perhaps someone else can make better use of it. As for this, keep it. Job well done.
Okay. Now I open it. What's inside?
You open this small leather satchel.
I'm like looking over his shoulder.
Before you. What appears to be, one second, a deck of cards.
Oh, god damn it.
It doesn't appear to be full. A few seem to be missing.
I'll flip it. Like, is it like a joker on the bottom? Like, is it just an actual deck or?
Nope.
Oh, god damn it.
You can see on the drawings of it, or on the cards, there's drawings of what appear to be different creatures. Such as a red dragon, a knight, succubus, a druid, a cloud giant, just various monsters and creatures from this realm, from this plane, and from others.
Why do I have a bad feeling about this?
What's that there?
I don't know. That's what concerns me. It looks like a deck of cards. Do you recognize it?
No, but I know a couple of folks here who might.
Okay.
We actually needed to see somebody about something like that anyways, so this could be good.
Oh, well, with me then. Farias is not here currently. We ran our scouting mission last night. We think we found a suitable spot. He's going to check it himself with his own force and see if we can't make up a strategy. But in the meantime, he should be back soon. Come with me. And he leads you back inside the ruins of Bilzern. And kind of back towards where the forge was.
Mm-hmm.
To a separate room. You see what appears to be a small holding cell or like prison type area.
Right.
Currently, the door is open. There is no one locked up or anything like that. You gather there's not a lot of crime here. People generally are good to each other. But just above that, however, you are led into a room. And as Linax approaches, he kind of knocks on the wooden door. I've brought you someone to speak to. He opens it. And you see inside two dwarves. Twins. Both sitting, working. One is sitting at a potion station. Brewing together a number of alchemical ingredients to just brew different potions. And you see the other just going over what appears, or inscribing what appears to be some kind of spell scroll or enchantment. Onto a deck of shimmering paper. They both turn. Where is the thingy? There you go. So they weren't linked to the right tribe. This is Glorfil, and this is No Fear.
Hello.
Hello,
Oh.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. It's been a while since we've had visitors.
Go ahead.
Not a lot of magic around here, these parts. What can we do for you?
We actually, speaking of magic, we have some items that we were hoping you could tell us the nature of, if you're able to do that sort of thing.
I believe that's my brother's specialty. And as he's finishing the word specialty, his brother essentially picks up where it left off. Says, yes, you'll find that's exactly what I'm good at. What can I do for you?
Well, we have a couple things. We have a deck of cards that he found, and then I have a sword that that is magical, but I don't know what kind of magic or anything.
Which would you like to learn about first? Just give it to... he has his hands outstretched, just like...
Sure, yeah.
Put the deck.
Cards first? Okay, he quickly is like... No, you'll know that magical decks of cards are extremely dangerous, generally speaking, yes.
I do now.
He
Interesting. I didn't know
opens it very slowly. Begins kind of flipping through the cards. Does very careful to not remove any from the deck or move them at all, apart from just fingering through what cards there are in there. And he spends a moment, and you see him cast a spell. It takes about 10 minutes. And while he's doing that and focused, the other brother, I believe Glorfil is the alchemist, just kind of begins engaging Linax in small talk. Asking if there's any new enchantments or potions they need, that he's looking forward to being able to work some more because he hasn't had any orders in a while or had any fresh ingredients with which to get potions. You gather it's kind of hard to come by some things in this region. But they just chit-chat for about 10 minutes, and after he finishes his identify spell, he hands you the cards back. Now that's a deck of illusions. They're not going to do much, but you pull a card from that deck, throw it on the ground, and whatever creature is on it will appear in all of its splendor. It won't be able to do anything, it's essentially useless, but it will trick the less magical-minded into believing there is actually a red dragon in their courtyard. Fun trick, especially at parties. And there's an ever-permanent smile on this dwarf's face. He just appears jovial, a little gruff, but happy.
You can see just ideas running through Stanislav's head.
How much is this worth? I'll tell you what.
Uncommon
Get
magic
back.
items, so 500 gold pieces, maybe 1,000.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah, probably about 1,000 gold pieces to the right buyer. There's some missing, so maybe less.
Understood. Then that's all I need for now.
And what about you? Shiny one.
Yeah,
You're
this-
gold.
I am gold.
Just
Not real
permanently
gold.
smiling. It's almost off-putting. This guy's clearly either an optimist or faking it. Whereas Glorfil is much more reserved and kind of arms crossed.
Just a salesman.
Yeah.
I have this this fancy sword. I was hoping you could do the same thing.
He produces it, and this time kind of gives it like a spin in his hands and just kind of plays with the weight a little bit. He's a dwarf. He recognizes a finely crafted weapon when he sees one. Now this is a little more special. Come with me. And he essentially pulls a section of his desk out and erects like a stand on it and puts the sword out and
Nice.
flips down a little monocle and begins just kind of like thumbing along it, running his fingers over the runes and reading it. And once again, casts Identify on the thing. And while he's doing that, the alchemist looks at you, Odd, and he says, "Don't suppose you need to buy anything?" "Got a bit, not much. They tend to clear me out pretty quick. Healing potions?"
Actually, how long do you usually keep things in stock?
Generally, we keep stock for about a week, maybe more.
Okay. I will be back for sure. I will definitely want healing potions. But I'm gonna need to take inventory on what I've got and what my actual resources are. So I'll be back.
Yeah, well, you know where to find me. And
I do.
as he's kind of finishing his sales pitch there, he finishes the spell on the sword, and you see a bright kind of arcane flash. He hands it back to you. It's like, I need to pull up my item. I have a whole description for this. Sorry. I get excited when I get to bust out my... This is the longsword of the Deceiver. Okay. Well, this is what's known as the longsword of the Deceiver. It is a...
Deceiver.
I wouldn't say legendary magical item, but it is a renowned magical item, and it was that lost some time ago, in fact. So the story behind this, based on what I can find, is it contains the remnant of a soul of its previous wielder. Someone who was caught betraying his lord somewhere in the kingdoms to the north. We call them the Barbarian Land. And we tend to not venture there. Either way,
I understand why.
after betraying his lord, he was beheaded with this very weapon. Seemingly left some kind of trace or curse, which has now attached itself, I believe, to you.
Interesting.
It's a dangerous thing to tamper with weapons like these.
I had no idea that it was cursed.
It's very much cursed. However, it doesn't appear to be one that's most major, and it is intended to help you become a better killer.
How so?
Yo.
You'll find you strike more deadly, more powerfully with this blade than another. Gives you a magical bonus to attack rolls.
I understand. Like, what does this curse do to me? If
What is it? Oh, if you try to separate from the blade, it will cause you, at the very least, a sizable amount of discomfort. Possibly more. I don't think it will
Alright.
kill you, but it will take some level of skill
Magical
or
help.
dedication. That would be what I go with, yes. However, it also makes you a better liar. Find yourself-
I've noticed that since I picked it up. It's weird.
Well, that's the gift the sword comes with. However, you'll find when you fail a strike with this weapon that it is... Fury will also turn back on you.
Oh,
I'm not quite sure how that works, but the damage it would have done will pass on to you.
strange. Maybe something to do with the soul and how it was captured by it being his own sword. I don't know.
I'm not sure. I can only
Huh.
tell you what I know, but it will be unpleasant. So be careful with it. If you'd like it removed, I can perhaps help you with that, or someone here who can.
I don't know if I want to mess around with the curse. What? I mean, it hasn't hurt me. It has
Yes.
felt weird trying to give it to people, and probably giving it to him. It felt weird too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, it would have actually. I'd say retroactively roll me a wisdom saving throw, but
A high modifier. 20.
yeah, you're good. So there's the pull. Like there's the don't give this blade up. Sorry, I forgot about that. but not to the point that you're unwilling to let someone examine it to tell you more about it. Just be careful who you use it around or on. I don't know what this blade's capable of fully, but I can tell you it is currently fairly attached to you.
All right.
Will it get more attached?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
But it's attached to one's soul. I'd say that's fairly definitive.
I mean, sure.
In the meantime, try not to hurt anyone you don't intend to with it.
Including myself, hopefully.
Especially. Be very careful with it.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna kind of eagerly pick it back up and sheath it.
Yeah, he sees the eagerness with which you rearm yourself with your weapon. He's a little concerned, but not to the point he's going to try to force the blade away from you or anything. It's your property. Dwarves tend to not steal things of that value.
Mm-hmm.
Not their style.
Well, thank you for your help. It's good to know, and I don't know about getting rid of this curse. We'll see.
Do what you will, just again be careful.
Definitely.
Well, that's what he does best. You don't have to worry about a thing.
Is be careful. Somehow I get the feeling you're lying.
I mean, there's not a scratch on me. It looks pretty great.
Your armor's seen. Oh no, your armor's brand new. Yeah,
And
that's true.
it's underneath clothing.
Gold and
'cause
shiny, just like you.
It's not visible. It's under clothing. So can you have chainmail be under like a big robe?
Yeah,
Yeah. Then it's
it's
definitely not.
it literally
visible.
has like cloths on top of it to hide it. Anyway, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I'm pretty
Yeah,
careful.
Used to wear like tabards over that shit.
I'm a pretty
Gambesons.
careful person.
Somehow I find that hard to believe. But
Yeah,
the weapon will serve you well as long as you're don't bring shame to it.
indeed, it has.
And imagine. Is there anything else? Any more cursed objects you'd like me to examine?
I just pointed Auten.
He smiles. Just the smile grows a little larger than it was before. Good one.
Well, that's all though. Thanks.
Linux kind of peps and he's like, well, if that's about it, suppose you should just rest until the master comes back.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll like to hear that we've solved our problem.
How about some wine?
Sounds like a plan to me.
Did that recently. I'm good. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. I am going to.
You've been asking about that all day. I've told you that I don't have any. There's some back here, and now he's offering it. You've been saying all of that? Like, what? Come on, man, let's go.
Let us have a drink. And he brings you to the bar, pours you all a glass of the elvish wine that they keep here. Hands you both your cups. It's a cheers, or it goes to cheers you both. Do you cheers too? Otten?
Sure. Cheers.
And you all take a moment to sip some fine elvish wine and relish or revel in the fact that you very decisively dispatched a rather powerful opponent fairly quickly. Goddamn, you can't argue with the results, can you? And that is where we will end the session for this evening, as we just hit the 3-hour mark.
Beautiful.
So thank you everyone who popped in. Thank you, Canna, Latroy, Drosarius for the follow earlier, Zombie for the raid, every single person who popped up in here. I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Next week or next session, I think next week I might be busy at work. But the next session we will have Rob back, reprising his role as Tauren. And we're going to be springing him from capture, more than likely, or at least attempting to. So we'll see how that goes next week. Tune in either same time next week or the following week. I will be posting on Twitter to let everybody know. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed the night. We're going to find someone to raid out on while we hit this outro screen. Peace out, folks.